This is Trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
I can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at the exact sort of movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
This is Trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
I can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at the exact sort of movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the RSC stream. I am Vild and I'm joined here by Cha and we are doing the draft stream and we're gonna start out with the Masters here, but before then, how are you doing tonight, Cha?
Yeah, I'm doing very, very well. Excited to get the RSC season well and truly kicked off here with the draft stream, one of the most anticipated events of the whole season. There's been hype for it over the last few weeks, and yeah, very, very excited to see what happens.
Yeah, of course we are. But before we head into the Masters here, we have one more sheet we want to go over just to let everyone know what kind of season we're looking forward to. The prize pool, if you're comparing it to last season, might look like it have shrunk a bit, which would be the case, but we have also moved on to have 3 different seasons going on throughout the year. So overall, I'm pretty sure that overall prize pool have increased, but individual seasons have shrunk a little bit. But if you're an Academy player, it doesn't really matter because it's the same prize pool. It's probably mostly on the top end. But yeah, as you can see, Master 250 pound prize pool, Elite 150 pounds, Rival 80 pounds, Challenger 60, and Prospect 40. And then Academy, as I said, 20 pounds. So still a lot of money up for grabs for just playing the game that you all love to play.
Yeah, it's a great that we can bring these kind of prize pools to a grassroots league, and yeah, great opportunity. But I believe that we can get into the master draft with nothing more to get onto. So yeah, let's see what happens in this first pick.
Yep, and as we have it on our screen, it's not really a surprise to me. It is Jazz. He has been playing very well throughout every season, being third only behind Smashy and Cash, and even then still being pretty good.
Yeah, and second overall pick, again, not really a surprise for Bro. It is Renshiro, another one of those high players that everyone knew was going to go very early in this draft, and another very, very solid pickup.
Yep, and next from DevCloud, we do have Twinser being picked up at 2200 value. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be buzzing being picked up that early. Okay, this one
Yeah,
is taking way
100%.
longer than the other picks. Oh, there we go.
Pick number 4 with Chrome Esports. We do have not a max player, which the first non-max player is Crisps at that 2020 CMV. So quite a mid CMV player there, and obviously Chrome sees something in that player to pick them up that early.
Yep, and here comes Ty77 being picked up by Unitox. I'm sure that Heki probably had a lot to say on this pick, and it would be interesting to know why he picked him, but I'm sure he's going to have a great season, having previously teamed with Bosselesse and Alanis for 17 and 16 games respectively.
Yeah, and pick 6, it is Aspire Esports. It is Dreamy, very well-known player, always performs to a very, very high level in the Master tier, always one of the first to go in the draft, and we'll see if this is that season where he can push on and get a trophy.
Yep, and next from this Dexterity, it is going to be Emil's, someone I have had the pleasure to talk to quite a bit, and he's a very lovable human being, and I can see why you would pick him up first, even though he's not a 2.2k player. So excited to see him getting picked at number 7.
Yeah, and pick number 8 is Serve at that 2065 mark, and another kind of mid 2k player here going. So some of the maxes are being left now. We're seeing some of those balanced rosters being made. Serve, I'm sure that a great season will be coming their way.
Yep, and next up, Will Owens at 2050, someone I had the pleasure of casting this Tuesday actually, playing in RL Norway. He's a great player, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do in RC. He's going to be pick number 9 for NXS, Nexus Esport.
Pick number 10 for God Alliance. It is Charm. God Alliance first season in the RSC, and their first draft pick is Charm, a very well-known player, very solid player who has had some very good results in the past. So a very good pickup there.
Yep, and next up, pick number 11 from Mistaken Esports. It is going to be Futura at 2060. Don't believe he has won before, but he has had some decent plays in the playoffs. So excited to see what he can do as the first pick for Mistaken.
Yeah, and pick number 12 here for Team MPB, another new franchise this season. It is Jarku at 2140, so not quite at that max CMV range, but just a little bit under it. But yeah, there's a reason they'll have picked him up this early, and hopefully for them will be a very, very good pick.
Yep. And next up for Brave, pick number 13. It is going to be NC. It is going to be a keeper pick. And you can say a lot about him. He has had first in league play twice, failed to win both times, but maybe, just maybe, this will be his season. Only time will tell, but for now, he will be the first pick for Brave.
Yeah, and pick 14 goes the way of Nate Esports, and it is Jair at that max CMV. So another max CMV being picked to Jair, the teammate in RLCS of NC, who we just saw, and a very, very good player and a very, very good pick.
Yep, and next up for Chrome Esport, it is going to be Rapids, which I believe was an elite player last season, and he was pretty much one of the best in the whole tier. It's going to be exciting to see how he's going to do in Master, but I was not foreseeing him going to be picked up in first round here, but I'm sure he's going to be psyched about that.
Yeah, and SCR picking up Slayer Crime at 2175, a player I believe has only played one season before this, then finished 4th in league play and 7 overall last season. So obviously they've seen something in that player to make them pick them up at the 16th pick here.
Yep, next up from Neat Esports, it is going to be Milner at 1920, the lowest player being picked up in round 1 so far. Exciting what they're going to be seeing, what they're going to be doing. Of course, I'm pretty sure he's going to be playing alongside D-Lynch on that roster.
Yeah, and pick number 18 here for Illusory. It is Tiago at that 2110. Another very, very solid pickup, as most of these round 1 picks have been, and excited to see what he can do this season.
Yep, next up for Team Vortic, it is going to be WH Tally, who, looking through his previous results, haven't really been having any big seasons, except for season 10, where he got 4th in league play and 3rd in finals. Besides that, nothing noteworthy, but I'm excited to see what he can do this season.
Yeah, and the final pick of round 1 here is Mimical, 2175, 14 Berserkers, a name we all know, has been around for a very, very long time and has always been consistently a very, very solid player in this Master Division. So excited to see what he can do this season.
Yep. So for our round 1 summary, it will be Jazz, Renshiro, Twinser, Crisps, Tai 77, DMY, Emils, Surf, Willows, Charm, Futura, Jakku, WH Tally, Mimical, NC, Jair, Rapid, Slayer, Crime, Milner, and Tiago being picked up. Some stacked names in this round 1. Of course, we don't have Cash or Smashy as we had in previous seasons, so it's truly going to be an exciting season to see who can step forward this season. I see how come Cash isn't playing. He's currently in Japan, and I think it would be pretty rough for him to play on Europe service.
Yeah, Master is very wide open this season, I think. While there are some very, very good players, you don't have the likes of Smashy, of Cash, but you still have the likes of Jazz, Renshiro, who are very, very good players, and some other players who will be knocking on the door there as well. Overall, from these franchises, a very, very solid round 1.
Yep, and here comes round number 2. I have a couple technical difficulties here. Bear with us. This always happens, so it's nothing new.
This is draft stream. This is always draft stream. We've got the great new Master player, non-applicable.
At least we got the good vibes here, okay?
Exactly.
At least we got the great vibes. Matrix, you already know who the producer is. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna throw him under the bus yet.
That's for later. That's for later.
Yeah. He's a great man though. as we're still sitting on round 1 summary, is there anything standing out to you other than what I might have mentioned?
I think you see all these players, they're all above that 2K mark, apart from those two of Rapids and Milne. So I feel like there has to be a reason that those two franchises have picked them up that early as low players. They have to have seen something, and they have to have seen something that will make them excited. But we do get into round 2, and the round 2 first pick 21, is Zyfez from Team Berserkers, a player that I know very well. Hasn't really had the results in the RSC, but I know him from back a few years ago. Very, very solid player.
Yeah, very solid indeed. And it is going to be working, and we are going to get the second pick. It is going to be for Team Vordic, and it is going to be Maddie, someone who absolutely destroyed me in a 6-match recently, so I know what he's capable of. Although that might not say a lot, but I'm sure he's going to be doing great on his team, where he was going to be playing alongside. 1 second here. You can start, my bad. Taking too long.
Pick 23 here for Illusory is a Seek at that 2K range to be paired with Tiago. So they're looking to make a little bit more of a balanced roster. Not got that max player, and a Seek will be filling that 2K slot.
Yeah, it was WH Tally. I just realized I have it on the left side of my screen. My camera was covering it. But next up, Team Serene, pick 24. Is this going to be Llama at 1930? I'm sure they're going to be buzzing that they were able to pick up that pick.
Yeah, 100%. And pick 25 here will go the way of Azteca, and they will be pairing Wukwo, I think, with Serve 2070. Very similar CMV to their first pick in Serve 2065. So very interested to see how that team comp is going to end up.
Yep, and next up, Death Cloud, picking up maybe I Love You Tweaks at 1950.
Probably.
It's going to be paired up with Twinser in that master tier. A lot of teams now prioritizing getting those low picks to pair up with their high picks, or getting the high picks if they didn't get one in the first round.
Yeah, in pick 27, we do have Shadow for their first pick of the Master Tier, so they've done a bit of trading there, and their first pick will be JP at that 1905. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the lowest CMV player that has been drafted so far, so obviously they've seen something for a reason to be Shadow's first pick of the draft.
Yep, and next up from DSQ, it is going to be Air Roller 271 at 1995. No previous pick from DSQ. They must have traded away their round 1 pick, and this is going to be their first pickup of this tier.
Yeah, and pick 29 for Team MPB is Verify at 2010 to pair with Jarku. And yeah, Verify, again, very well-known player, been around for a while, and hopefully he will have a very, very solid season on this MPB roster.
Yep, next up DSQ having their second pick in this round. It is going to be Serenov at 1990. Almost mirroring perfectly Air Roller's MMR. Sorry, a little bit of gas in my stomach. But I'm sure that they might be going for a balanced roster here from the look of it.
Yeah, and pick 31 is Dote here from God Alliance, and to pair with Charm, and another low player being picked up, a very well-known one, been a few seasons in Master, a few seasons in Elite, done well in all of them, so a very, very solid pickup here for round 2.
Yep, next up from Brave, pick number 32. It is going to be Matrix, who I have seen in chat, so I'm looking forward to see what his reaction to go on this team is, but he's going to be paired up with NC. I'm sure that they're going to be going along great. I'm pretty sure that I've seen them team in the past as well. So excited to see what they can do in this season, where everything is kind of up in the air.
In pick 33, we see Sweaty at 1895, which is a min player here in the Master Tier. So the first min player being picked up, and yeah, it's been picked up in round 2 for a reason.
Yep, next up, Team Dexterity. They are going to pick up Kizzy, I believe it's pronounced, at 2030. And knowing Emils, he might have had a bit of behind the scenes work to get that pick. He always knows what kind of players he wants. I'm sure at least he's let the GMs know what kind of player he was going to expect to have alongside him. Exciting to see how that team shapes up.
Yeah, and pick 35 here is Dash at 1940 from Aspire to pair with Dreamy, the max player, the low player. It's a classic formula here in the Masters tier.
Yep, Next up from Team Unitox, it is going to be Chowie Minx at 1920, teaming up with Ty77. I hope I didn't butcher that name.
You probably got it close enough. Moving on here to the pick 37 for Nexus, and it is the keeper pick of Cal, the AGM, another keeper coming through to pair with Wolounds. I probably butchered that. But yeah, 2055, very similar CMV, so we'll see how that one shapes out.
Yep, and now Shadow, similar to DSQ, having 2 round 2 picks instead of a round 1 pick. It is going to be Kohler Ryan at 2030, so picking up a slightly higher pick this time. And it's going to be teaming up with JP, who they picked up at number 27, so pretty close picks.
Yeah, and Bro, with their second pick, will pick up Faith here at 1970 to pay with Renshiro. Renshiro, one of the best max players and a very solid lower player in Faith there to pair. So, yeah, that roster is looking quite strong at the moment.
Yep, and next up from Brutus franchise, they're going to pick up the only one in Master Tier to, well, he got a big bonus from last season because he played with Cash. He's going to be sitting at 2050, and he's going to be paired up with Futura at 2060. I'm sure that he probably had a good say in the first pick there.
It is a shame for Kingsman that he won't have Cash carrying him again this season, so we'll see how he can do without that. But looking at this round 2 summary, we do have Zyfez, Matty, Asik, Lama, Wukwo, I Love You Tweaks, JP, Arrow Right, Verify, Zarin, Dote, Matrix, Faith, Kingsman Gas, Sweaty, Kizzy, Dash, Xiao Minx, Cal, and Kohler Ryan all being picked up here. And yeah, Veiled, I don't know about you, but I think, again, a very, very solid round 2 from a lot of these franchises.
Yeah, overall pretty, not really surprised with what I'm seeing. Maybe that last pick in the round might be throwing a little bit, but other than that, it's pretty well picked from everyone around the tier.
Yeah, 100%. And the DSQ picks there are of their Academy roster, but moving on to round 3 with a quick stop. It is Mistaken, and it is Q-Berry at 1930, so lower than their other 2 picks, getting that low player there. I'm quite intrigued to see how this team composition is gonna go, but I'm sure Kingsman Gas knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about how the team caps work in Master Tier, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
Me neither.
I'm assuming that that's probably gonna be the main roster compared to other tiers. But next up, Bro Esports are gonna be picking up Sir Loki at 1895, and he's gonna be paired up with Faith and Renshiro. And looking at the kind of CMVs, it kind of looks like the same kind of composition as the last one, just with a higher max player.
Yeah, and pick 43 for Team Serene is Kingy. Again, that similar composition. The max player, the lower player, and the min player coming in here. Kingy will be that third player for Serene here.
Yep, next up, Chrome Esports, pick number 44, and it is going to be Woosie at 2105, picking up their mid-range player here in the 3rd round. They were able to get their first and second pick in the 1st round, so I'm sure they took advantage of either Team Shadow or Team DSQ to get that 1st round pick.
Pick 45 here for Unitox. It is Bossy Lassie. So 5 CMV, above that min CMV, but still a low player there that can fit nicely into that 3rd slot on that roster with Xiaominx and Tai.
Yeah, next up from Aspire is going to be Sesson being picked up at 1915, their last player to round out this team, which they had the potential to have a team full of players with their name starting with D, and they kind of threw on Sesson, I'm not going to lie, but he is a great player, so I'm sure that they won't mind throwing that.
Pick 47 here for Dexterity, and it is Pesky at 1980 to pair with Kizzy and Emil. So a very balanced roster there, all 3 players being very close in CMV to each other.
Yep. And next up from Team SCR, they are going to pick up Arnoldi at 1955, their mid-range player as well. And they also threw away their chance of having matching starting letters for their names. But likewise, I don't think they mind too much. I think that might just be a me thing, wanting to see that happen.
Pick 49 here for Brave Esports. It is Dapsy to pair up with Matrix and NC. That min player, a lot of those min players have gone in this round 3 here. So yeah, a lot of those franchises trying to secure that min player, and Dapsy is a very, very good option for that.
Yep. Next up, Team Godalians. They are going to be picking up Trout at 1905, and he's going to be paired with Dote and Charm. I'm going to be very excited to see how that works. Might be a very good team, might not be. Who knows? Only the season will show us. And well, the chat is having a laugh at it.
Pick 51 here for DSQ. It is Sentry at 2035, their highest player that they have picked so far with those 2 round 2 picks of Zerenf and Arrow, right? So yeah, getting a little bit higher, but still a very balanced roster CMV wise.
Yep, next up, Team MPB, the franchise you were part of. They are going to be picking up Alanis, which last season I heard very great talks for about the value. Able to pick her up that late might be very good when she's going to be teaming alongside Verify and Jakku.
Pick 53 here for Nexus. It is Jax, a player that I know was on quite a few franchises' radar this season, and a very, very solid pick here at this round 3. I'm surprised that he has fallen this late, and a very solid pick.
Yep, next up is going to be Shadow rounding out their first 3, and it is going to be Cavern. I hope it's pronounced Cavern at 2135. Their highest player picked up. It's going to be shaping up Kohler, Ryan, and JP.
Pick 55 here, going the way of Deathcloud, and it will be Alf, the man who has been on Deathcloud quite a few times in the past. I believe he won Elite on Deathcloud a couple seasons ago, and yeah, now making the jump up to Master after being a staple in Elite. We'll see what he can do.
Yep, next up, Azteca. Gonna be picking up Felix, their lowest player so far. Gonna be teaming with WUko and Serve. And yeah, 1895. Looking very low, but they also do have 2 very high players for their main 2 players on that team. So not too surprising.
Yeah, Neat Esports will be picking up B79, one of the best names I've seen so far at this pick 57. And I don't know if that's a glitch or that is their first pick. I think it is a glitch because I think I saw Nate getting a player, but a min player there and a very solid pickup.
Yep, next up, Illusory. Gonna be picking up Murda at 1900. Looking a little bit like the last franchise I mentioned, where they had 2 high players, but looks like they have used a little bit less CMV this time. Maybe they're gonna be looking to pick up a higher sub. As we know, there's only 5 weeks this time of league play, so having a good sub might make the difference.
Yeah, 100%. And pick 59 here is Hybrid at 1930. A little bit of a lower player to pair with those 2 little bit higher players that they already have, and Vortex shaping up a good roster here.
Yep, next up, Team Berserker is going to be rounding out our round 3 by picking up Ibi at 1940. It's going to be paired up with Cyphus and Mimical. I'm sure that team is going to be one to look out for because Berserker's always built at least decent teams. So maybe this is going to be one of the better teams that they built. Only time will tell. For our round 3 summary, it is going to be Barry being picked up first, followed by Sir Loki, then Kingy, then Woosie, then Bosselasse, then Sesson, then Pesky, then Arnoldi, then Dapsy, then Trout, then Sentry, then Alanis, then Jax, then Cavern, then Elf, then Felix, then B79, then Murda, then Hybrid, and then Ibi. That's going to be rounding out our round 3. And before we go to Elite, we have one more round of Master Picks.
Yeah, very solid round 3 here with some very solid names that I'm surprised fell this far, honestly. But we'll see if there's a few more there in this round 4. And pick 61 will be Pleaso 5, I think. I don't know. At 1950 for this Berserkers roster. So yeah, very balanced roster there. 3 players kind of in that low 1900 range here for Berserkers.
Yep, next up, Team Vortic, gonna be picking up Wix at 1915. Surely, I'm pretty sure that that's not the lowest of low CMV, so maybe what I said before about having a slightly better sub might be something that some of the GMs have taken into consideration, because this is the first time we run an iteration that is only 5 weeks. it's going to be interesting to see how the different managers tackle that challenge.
Yeah, and pick 63 here for a loser is, I want to say Osic. Hopefully I haven't butchered that. At the 1995, just off a 2K, and looks to be that kind of third player on that roster. Again, that high player, 2 mid, and the low.
Yep, next up, Unitox going to be picking up Form at 1905. Going to be teamed up with Basilazza, Chatty Minx, and TY77. And at 1905, going to be competing with Basilazza for that last spot on that team currently.
Pick 65 here for SCR will be Ain. Again, probably
I think it's
butchered that.
Owen,
At
maybe.
19, Owen at 1935 here. Looks to be competing with Sweaty and Arnold. We'll see who can nail down a main roster spot or if it will be a bit of a rotation for them.
Yep. Captain Quack being the next one picked up by Team Mistaken at 1905. Excuse me, looking like he's gonna be the sub on that team currently. And anyone that's gonna be a sub on a team with Kingsman on is gonna have a great time.
Pick 67 here for MPB will be Bertram. I've seen it in the chat. I'm not going to address it. At the 1895 here, their min player. They're who you would think would be the sub, but who knows as the season progresses.
Yep, next up, Team Nexus gonna be picking up Fear at 1915. It's gonna be the lowest on this team as well, rounding out that team. They're starting to look a bit stacked, as a lot of these teams are.
Pick 69 here for Shadow Esports will be Leon02, a player that I was on DSQ last season, had a decent season, but ended up leaving, and we'll see if he can get through the whole season on a team. Very solid player at 1925 as well, quite cheap. So we'll see what his season will be like on that roster.
Yep, and now we have the first 2K Plus player being picked up in round 4. It is Elias V from Chrome Esports here. Gonna be the second highest on his team currently, actually, so I'm thinking they're gonna have to root someone out come the actual season.
Pick 71 for God Alliance is Envy at 2K and 5 here. And yeah, another decent player there, looking for a bit more of a balanced roster there, and the second highest on that team.
Yep, next up, it's gonna be Blaze with their 4th pick. It is gonna be Abby at 2020 CMV. Gonna be straight in between Matrix and NC. I'm sure that might actually just be how the team caps up are. Maybe I was wrong earlier.
Pick 73 here for Azteca Esports is Vibes at 2080. Actually, their highest player that they have picked up so far in this draft at the round 4, which you don't see every day, but yeah, got 3 players around that just below 2.1k range for Azteca.
Yep. Next up, Dexterity gonna be picking up Jeff. I love that name. I'm looking forward to casting that on stream if I get the chance to. At 1935, gonna be rounding out Dexterity's picks here in the first day of picks on Master Tier.
Pick 75 for Aspire is Cluey at 1940. Same CMV as Dash, so maybe a little bit of competition there. We'll see how that roster does shape up. But yeah, they've gone with a max player and then a 3 lower players to fit around that player.
Yep. Next up is gonna be Neat Esport. As I mentioned earlier, it's gonna be D-Lynch. And they've actually traded away both their round 1 and round 2 picks from the look of things. But you mentioned that that might not be true. But he is gonna have B79 on his team. I believe he won. Yeah, he did win last season of RSC, so keep an eye out for that team.
Yeah. Pick 77 here for DSQ is Sound to go with their roster of Aerorite, Zerenf, and Sentry. The lowest player on that roster, but we'll see if he can push into those main roster spots.
Yeah, I got word that Neat Esport got Jair and Milne. That is correct. Thank you for that conflict. Next up, though, DevCloud. They're picking up Dagad Gear at 1895. I don't know how to pronounce that. That's too many. That's too much.
Pick 79 here is Leo Pazdano for Bro. at that 1930 CMV, the third highest player on that roster, looking to be their solid third player here. Fairly low player, but a good player for that value.
Yep, next up, last pick of the Master Tier of the night. It is going to be Kiran as a keeper pick for Team Serene at 1965. I'm sure that their picks in run 2 and 3 start to make a little bit of sense for people, as they had a keeper pick this late in at that CMV. That is going to round out a round 4 of Master Tier, and at the same time our Master Tier of the night. And here's the summary. Shall take us through it.
We've got Pliz05, Wix, Osich, Form, Owen, Captain Quark, Bertram, Fear, Leon, Elias, Envy, Ebby, Vibes, Jeff, Cluey, D-Lynch, Sound, Dagadgear, Leopadsdano, and Kieran, rounding out the Master Tier for this day 1 of the RSC draft.
Yep. And I think we are going to go on a short break before we come back with the Elite Tier, but stay tuned, as it is going to be me and Chao returning with the Elite Tier for you. But before then, just a short break. So grab something to drink, grab something to eat, and we'll be right back.
Build your team store. We're the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
This is Trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at them exact movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch. It's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. We're the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
Welcome back, everyone. We are back after a short break with the Elite Draft. We've just done Master. It's me and Veiled again. Veiled, how are you feeling after that?
I'm doing all right. I'm looking forward to getting along with this Elite stream. We do again have our prize pools on screen. We mentioned it before, but just if you didn't watch the last time, they are on our screen. It's £250 for Master Tier, 150 for Elite, £80 for Rival, 60 for Challenger, 40 for Prospect, and 20 for Academy. And that will be shared between all 4 players on the team that wins, which means you'll get a quarter of it if you are the team that takes the trophy at the end of the season.
Yeah, as previously mentioned, a great opportunity to get some change in the pocket and play some Rocket League, most importantly. But yeah, we will be moving on to the Elite Draft. Elite is a great tier for entertainment factor, and this round 1, pick 1 for Shadow will be RMD. Champion of 2 seasons ago, very, very highly rated player, 1855, fairly standard pick here for pick 1.
Yep, next up though is going to be Team Vortic. Looks like it is going to take a little while to get through it, but we are going to get to it eventually. And it is going to be Exile, who played a very great season last season, but despite a bit of controversy, I'm sure he's going to do great in the tier once again though. At 1890, it's going to be great value for anyone to pick up. I'm pretty sure that is max value for Elite at the same time actually.
Yeah, and pick 3 here will be Fish for Illusory. So he didn't have the best of seasons last season, didn't win a single series all season, but I'm sure that there's a reason he's been pick 3, and he'll be looking to right that wrong, I think.
Yep, next up, Neat Esports going to be picking up Slumpy at 1845. And just for your information, I don't know if this bug is going to happen again, but I heard that the reason why Neat's previous picks was bugged is because they have a funny E in their name. So if you want to blame anyone, don't blame production. Blame whoever came up with that E with the apostrophe above it.
Pick 5 here for Azteca is Lynx, another high player. A lot of high players going in these first 5 picks. Another very, very highly rated player here in the Elite tier.
Yep. Next up, DevCloud gonna be picking up Cal D at 1840. Now, I think I saw this guy play last season. I'm pretty sure he played pretty all right. I mean, he must have since he's going pick number 6 in round 1 of Elite tier. So I'm sure that he's gonna be stoked being at DevCloud, or if not, at least the DevCloud management is gonna be stoked to have him there.
Pick 7 here for Berserkers is J-Wobs. Again, another player that there was a lot of chatter about before this season. Very, very highly rated in tryouts, and he is tipped to have a very, very good season by a lot of people. So we'll see how that does go.
Yep, next up is going to be Nexus Esports. Going to be picking up Cedric at 1880 CMV. Almost max, but giving themselves just that 15 CMV, no, 10 CMV range to work with in the future on the next picks. I'm sure that they are going to have a reason for keeping that CMV, and it's going to come into picture later.
Pick 9 here for Team MPB is Rilo at that 1850 mark. Champion of the Elite tier last season, was always going to go early. I'm sure Team MPB will be delighted with that pickup.
Yep, next up, Chrome Esports. They have pick number 10, and they are going to be picking up Dash at 1840. I'm pretty sure that he played in the Rival Finals 2 seasons ago, where he unfortunately ended up losing, I'm pretty sure, where he played with Sarge and Strafe. but he is going to be elite and he is going to go round 1. I'm sure he's going to do well.
God Alliance with the pick 11, and it is Yummy999, another very high CMV player here. You would expect it for round 1. A lot of these highly rated high CMV players going early. Yummy, a great pickup for God Alliance.
Yep, next up, Brave. Gonna be picking up Axios at 1855. Not quite going for the top of the tier, but going for one that is sitting at 35 CMV below max, and it might be going for a well-rounded team here. I'm excited to see how that team shapes up.
Pick 13 for SCR. It is Lepua at 1855. Again, another very, very solid player. Didn't have the best of seasons last season, but a very good player with a lot of potential to do very, very well.
Next up, Team Dexterity, gonna be picking up Silas at 1845. A lot of these teams now starting to pick these not the players that are not quite at the top of the CMV range, but maybe these players prove to have better value than those at the top.
DSQ Esports with pick number 15, and it will be, I want to say AR, but I don't know if there's a different way to pronounce that. 1835, like you said, a little bit on the lower scale, around the mid CMV range. A very good pickup for them.
Yep, next up, Chrome Esports with the second pick of round 1, and there's going to be JB Gaming, who's going to be lining up with Dash, both sitting at quite high ranges. I'm sure that is going to show us why they picked someone not quite at the top of the tier. I'm pretty sure they're going to probably have to pair that with a low player, though, to make that team work.
Mistaken Esports here with their first pick of Elite, and it will be TJ at that 1825 CMV mark. A little bit lower than a lot of the players, maybe the lowest, although don't quote me on that. Very good pickup.
Yep, next one is going to be Kevin, 385 MS. Keeper pick for Codalians. Going to be teaming with Yummy999 in this season. And maybe I was wrong saying that the other team is going to have a very low pick to pair with them. This team for sure looks like they're going to have to do that.
Pick 19 here for Aspire, their first of 2 in a row, and that will be Wilkie at the 1825 CMV mark. Very solid player here to go around 1, and a very solid pickup for Aspire.
Yep, and you don't have to wait long to see who their next pick is, because it is going to be Repsic, their keeper pick, which is going to be the last pick of this first round of Elite. And he's going to be teaming with Wilkie, who we just mentioned. And fun story, if you heard me talk about Maddie beating me in a six-mans, he had Wilkie on his team. So that might explain why I got this right so hard. But that is going to summarize our round 1 of Elite. And it's going to be RMD, then Exile, then Fisher, then Fish, then Slumpy, then Lynx, then Caldi, then J-Whips, then Cedric, then Rilo, then Dash, then Yummy, then Axios, then Lepua, then Silas, then Aya, then JB Gaming, then TJ, then Kevin, then Wilkie, then Reptic.
Yeah, very solid round 1 in the Elite tier here. The lowest being 1825, so no real low players yet. I think we'll start see some of them going in the round 2 if we do move onto that round 2 and see how these teams are going to keep building their rosters, as we see Reptic briefly pop up again here before we go into pick 21 for Bro. It will be their first pick of the Elite tier, and it is Honk here at 1875, so another very close to max player and a great pickup here for Bro.
Yep, they did, however, have to give up their first round pick, but they do in return have 2 picks in a row in round 2. Sure, they picked with traded with Aspire, but it's going to be April at 1800, going to be paired up with Honk in this tier.
Yeah, pick 23 here will be going to Team Serene, and it will be their first pick of the Elite Draft, and it is Nixo at 1840. A player that, from my experience, I'm a little bit surprised dropped down to round 2, actually. I rate him very highly as a player, and a very, very solid pickup here for Team Serene.
Yep, next up, Brave. Gonna have to pick number 24. Gonna be paired up with Axios. It is gonna be Guma at 1880 CMV. That team looking more and more stacked. And for every round that passes by, and I'm sure the next round is gonna make that look even better. Next up, though, it's going to be Unitox.
Yeah, it will be Eevee at 1890, another max player going off the board. Their first pick of the Elite Draft as well. So, yeah, looking to build their team around Eevee, it seems.
Yep, next up it's going to be Shadow Esports with pick number 26, and paired up with RMD, it is going to be Doink at 1845. Now, if he can pull off the Doinks as well as his name might make you think, then maybe that might be a really great team. Who knows? Only the season will show us. Next up, though, it is going to be Team Berserkers.
Team Berserkers to pair with J-Wobs, it will be PJ 1830, another kind of player at that mid CMV range. Depends on who their third will be, but looking like a very balanced roster for Team Berserkers.
Yep, next up from Team SCR, it is going to be Combat at 1775. Pretty sure that's one of the lower picks that we've seen so far. And he's going to be paired up with Lepua, who went in the first round from the same franchise. Next up, though, pick number 29.
Nexus Esport will be picking up Mupin 1977 to pair with Cedric. So 1805, another mid-range player, and yeah, good pickup for them.
Yep, next up, pick number 30. It's going to be KS Shadow at 1830. I saw him in a tryout last season, and back then he looked pretty great. I'm sure he's going to be looking even greater this season, and he's going to be teamed up with Cal D.
Pick 31 here, going the way of Dexterity at, oh god, Verville Medudal Sick Online Ben. Possibly the longest name I've ever seen in RSC, 1860. We'll see if that is a good pickup for Dexterity. It'll surely be a caster's nightmare.
You know, knowing Shattered, there is a very good reason how you only picked that player because of the name. Now, next up, it is going to be Wessel, the keeper pick from MPB at 1835. He's going to go as pick number 32. Next up, though, it's going to be Nexus Esports.
Nexus will be picking up Storm.rl for their third pick of the Elite Draft to pair with Mupin and Cedric. So a very, very solid roster for Nexus here in the Elite tier is forming.
Yep, next up, though, DSQ. Pick number 34, and they are going to be picking up Liam to pair up with AR at 1820 CMV. This team is looking more well-rounded than most of the teams. I'm pretty sure they can pick up a quite high third pick, or even boost up their sub to have a better value. I'm sure that might be really good for that team. Now, next up, though, is going to be Mistaken Esports.
They will be picking up Tenty here at the 1770 mark. Just 5 CMV above that min. A low player, their second player of the draft, and got 2 kind of low players in. So interested to see what they'll do next.
Yep, next up, Azteca picking up Drizzy at 1855, quite close to that Lynx and CMV value. He's going to be pick number 36 of the night for in the elite tier. However, next up, we do have Team Serene.
To pair with Nixo, their second pick of round 2, it will be X Vinci at that 1840, exact same CMV as Nixo. So we'll see how high of a third they can get. I think it still can be quite high.
Yep, next up, it is going to be Rahu at 1845, going to be paired up with Fish. He is going to be the keeper pick of Illusory, so might not surprise that many people, but he's going to be pick number 38 of the night. And next up, pick number 39 for our Team Vortic.
It will be Joris at that 1815 CMV with that max CMV pick of Exile. They needed a little bit of a lower CMV to pair with him, and Joris is a very, very good option for that. Great pick here for Team Vortic.
Yep, and for the last pick of round 2, it is going to be Neat Esports picking up 220 as a keeper pick at that 1845 mark. And that is going to finish up our round 2 picks for the elite tier. And we will go to a quick summary before we continue with the round 3 of this draft.
Yeah, round 2 has concluded, and it is Honk, then April, Nixo, Guma, Eevee, Doink, PJ, Combat, Mupin, K Shadow, the really long name Verveal, Wessel, Storm, Liam, Tenti, Drizzy, X Vinci, Rahu, Joris, and 220. So, yeah, seeing a few lower CMV players, a few keepers as well. I promised Wessel I would shout him out, so this is me shouting him out. And yeah, overall, a very decent round 2 here for these franchises.
All right. I have gotten a request for a pick in this round. So I'm going to start this one out. For the first pick in Need Esport, it's going to be Skies, also previously known as Kesa, 1790. It's going to be paired up with 220 and Slumpy at 1845.
Solid pick for them. And then the next pick at pick 42 is Team Vortic here, and they will be picking up Frank at that 1785. So looking to be that third CMV player on this team, but a very, very solid player in Frank to pair with Exile and Joris.
Yep, next up it's going to be Illusory with pick number 43, and it is going to be Medi ET at 1765. And that is going to be a bit lower pick. I don't know if that's going to be a sub or if that's going to be a main roster. Only time will tell.
Pick 44 here will go the way of Berserkers, and it will be Fall, the keeper pick. Their AGM this season, first time AGM, 1810 CMV. We'll see how he can fare on this roster with PJ and J-Wobs. A very strong looking roster, if I do have to say.
Yep, next up, Azteca Esports. Gonna be picking up Rollback Noodles at 1800. Gonna be paired up with Dressy and Lynx to finish out that team. I'm getting a lot of DMs right now.
Pick 46 will be Mistaken Esports, and it will be KJ at 1830, their highest pick of the Elite Draft so far, to pair with TJ and Tenti on their roster.
Yep, next up though is gonna be Shadow Esports with pick number 47. And they are gonna be picking up Sam Dusk at 1765, the person who won Challenger last season, I believe.
Challenger.
Yeah, it was Challenger last season, and he's gone all the way up to Elite, and he has been picked up in round 3, and that is quite an accomplishment, if you ask me.
Yeah, 100%. Pick 48 here. Unitox's second pick of the draft. It will be Kale at the 1860 mark, so not that much lower than Eevee. They'll maybe need a few lower players here to round out this roster.
Yep, next up though, MPB gonna be picking up their third pick of the Elite tier. It is gonna be Big Bad Wolf at 1830, keeping that CMV range on their team nice and tidy. Having 1850 and 1835, not much range between them. But next up though, it is gonna be pick number 50, going to DSQ.
And DSQ will be picking up Rico here at the 1850 mark. So just like MPB, very close together in CMV for their first 3 picks, and some very, very good picks in there for DSQ.
Yep, next up, Team Godalian's gonna be picking up Gamey at 1775. Don't know much about him, but gonna be paired up with Kevin and Yummy, both two very I don't know what to say. They have been playing for a long time and they're good players. They know what they're doing, so I'm sure that they're gonna be able to take this guy under their wing and lead them to a great season.
Brave Esports now will be picking up Rolef at pick 52 at the 1780 mark. A player that has been in Arrival for a few seasons. Not sure if he has been in Elite before, but he'll be looking to make his mark on this tier.
Yep, next up, Team SCR picking up EO4MC. Was he not prospect like a couple seasons ago? That's crazy if he was.
He was Charlie a
1790.
couple seasons ago, yeah.
Charlie, okay, my bad. Charlie, 1790, gonna be sitting in the middle of that tier. And I was told by the owner of that org to insult that pick, so how dare you pick that guy already? No
Pick
offense to the player.
54 here. Pick 54 here will be Dan O'Shea for Dexterity. 1795 mid-range CMV to pair with Silas and the name that I'm not going to try and say for a third time.
Yeah, next up, Team Aspire with pick number 55. It is going to be Snow at 1765, rounding out the team of Reptic, and Wilkie. I'm sure that that's going to be a great team, as all those players quite made quite a name of themselves in the community.
Pick 56 here will be Nick at 1765. So Unitox picking up their min with those two high players. They're going to need some low players, some good low players, and Nick is exactly that.
Yep, next up though, Chrome Esports with pick number 57. They are going to be picking up Lumi at 1830. Played really great last season, I'm pretty sure. Maybe even in Master Team, I might be remembering wrong. There's happened so much since, but he's going to be teaming up with Dash and JB Gaming on that Chrome Esports team. Next up, though, however, it's going to be Team Serene.
And Moggy at 1790. Very, very solid player. A bit surprised that he dropped this far, but been very highly rated in the last few seasons and looking to have the season that I think we've all expected from him from a while. Very good player.
Yeah, next up, however, is going to be Bro with the penultimate pick of this round. It is going to be RC at 1780. Actually, played in place of someone else in my tryout the other day for Bro Esports. And well, I didn't know he was elite, but there you go. He's going to be picked up in round 3.
Final pick of round 3 here at pick 60. It will be Cram for Deathcloud 1790, the third CMV slot on the Deathcloud roster, and a very, very solid one at that. And that will round up our round 3 here as we go to a quick summary of the round 3.
Yep. And it is going to be first pick of the round 3. It's going to be Skies, also known as Kesa, then followed by Frank, and then Maddie, then Fall, then Rollback Noodles, then KJ, then Sam Dusk, then Kelly 3300, then Big Bad Wolf, then Rico, then Gamey, then Rolef, then EO4MC, then Danosher, then Snow, then Nick, then Lumi, then Muggy, and then Ursi, and then last but not least, it is going to be Cram.
Yeah, and there are a few players here and there that I'm a bit surprised have dropped this far, but yeah, very strong around 3, and some of these rosters are really looking to take shape now and looking very, very strong, and we'll see how they can improve on that in the round 4 as we do head over as a brief stop on that Cram pick from before, but we will head over to pick 61, which will be for SCR, and it will be Royalty, that low player actually equal with combat. So maybe a little bit of competition there for this SCR roster.
Yep, next up is going to be Bro Esports, and they're going to be at their 4th pickup of this tier. It's going to be Spots, guy who's been spamming a lot in chat, and I'm sure he can maybe be quiet now as he gets his answer right here, getting picked up somehow.
Pick 63 here will go to Team Serene, and it will be GC Exile, a man who is no stranger to the franchise of Team Serene. And looking at that roster, it is shaping up to be very, very solid.
Yep, next up, however, it's going to be Chrome Esports with pick number 64. It is going to be Anthony. And if he's anything like Anthony in real life, let's just hope this isn't Man United. He's going to be picked up at a value of 1820 in this 4th round.
Very balanced roster there for Chrome, all around the same CMV. Pick 65 here will go to Nate Esports, and it will be that min player. It will be Shad at the 1765 CMV mark. Very solid pickup for that min player, and a very, very solid roster here for Nate Esports.
Yep, next up, however, it is going to be Aspire, and they're going to be picking up Joker to go alongside Snow, Reptic, and Wilkie. This team is starting to shape up quite a bit, and I'm sure that some franchises might be looking at that and thinking, thank God I'm not in that conference, or why am I in this conference? Depending on which conference you're in. Next up, however, is going to be Dexterity.
It will be, and it will be the Yellow Crab at 1765. The min player coming in there, and yeah, looking at that team, it is very, very solid. Crab coming in as that min player for Dexterity.
Yep, next up, however, Team Mistaken. Going to be picking up Killer at 1810. Going to be paired up with TJ, Tenty, and KJ on that team. Next up, however, we do have Brave Esports.
Yeah, Brave Esports at the 69th pick here with, it will be Peric, so player who's playing from the USA, pairing up with Rolef, Guma, and Axios, was on DSQ last season. Very, very solid pick there for a low CMV player.
Yep, next up, Team Godalions. They're going to be picking up as number pick 70 in the tier. It's going to be Luke P at 1765. It's going to be joining Gamey, Kevin, and Yummy on that team. I'm sure that they will be thrilled with that pickup.
DSQ now pick 71 will be picking up Kyron at 1775, the lowest player on their roster so far. On paper, looks like the sub, but you never know what can happen throughout the season.
No, you never can. Next up, Team MPB with pick number 72. And they are going to be picking up, alongside Big Bad Wolf, Wessler, and Rilo, it is going to be Wavy, 1765 value. I'm sure that he might make an impact when he gets to play on the pitch in place of any of those three players that might need a week off or maybe just a game off for them.
Yeah, pick 73 here. Nexus Esport will be picking up TV Brand at the 1790 CMV. So they've got 3 players there, very similar in CMV, and then that one high player in Cedric. Very interesting composition there on that team.
Yep, and next up, Kens. Gonna be picked up at 1765 for Team Vortic. A lot of franchises now prioritizing getting that min pick to round out their team to make sure that they fit within the CMV values. I'm sure that will go a long way come the season start.
Pick 75 goes to DeathCloud, and it is Raza 6074 here at the 1795. So, again, no really low players on that roster. Very balanced roster, but that does mean they don't have any really high players either.
Yep, next up is going to be Azteca picking up Sato at 1795. I'm surprised to see him go that late, but maybe it's just the CMV value didn't really fit within any teams. But he is going to be picked up, and it's going to be round 4 from Azteca.
Yeah, pick 77 here for Unitox. It is Wolfie, a man that most of us will know at that 1770 value. Is a very good pick, and my light has just turned off.
It's all right. Next up from Team Illusory, it is going to be Imfix at 1880. Who's going to be paired up with Matty, with Rahu, and with Fisher in that tier.
Shadow Esports here for the penultimate pick of day 1 of Elite, and it is Huge Voidting at 1825. So pairing up with RMD, with Doink, and with Sam Dusk on Shadow Esports this season.
Yep. Next up, though, it is going to be Berserkers, and they're going to be finishing up our elite picks of the night, and it's going to be Cloud at 1820. He's going to be filling out the team of Fall, PJ, and J-Whips, and that team is starting to look very stacked, actually. I think all of these players made their mark in the playoffs last season. Of course, J-Whips hitting some great clips, but also Fall and PJ making their mark on their respective teams. And that is going to round out our picks of the night for Elite. And just to go through them, it is first off Royalty, then followed by Spoots, then GCal, then Anthony, then Chet, then Joker, then Yellow Crab, then Killer, then Pyric, then Luke P, then K-Rand, then Wavy, then TV Brand, then Kens, then Rasa, then Sato, then Wolfie, and then Amphix, then Huge Voidting, then Cloud, and that will be it for Elite for tonight.
Yeah, round 4, you're seeing a lot of those a lot of those low players going, and a lot of the best ones going quite early in that round. And yeah, as you say, that will conclude Elite for the night. They will be back tomorrow. But next up, we do have Rival, and it will not be both of us joining you, but you may see one of us there. We will be right back after a short break. Make sure you don't go anywhere.
This is Trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, you get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at the exact movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
This is Trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at the exact movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business.
I'm
Welcome back, everyone, to the RSC Draft Day 1. We are back with the rival tier. I am Char, and according to the stream that is veiled, it is not. It is Shattered Fusion. Shattered, how are you doing?
I am doing very fine. Just did my master and elite picks. Very happy about those, as you maybe saw. But now we're off to a rival. Way better tier anyways. Because I'm playing in it, so I like it more.
Fair enough. And yeah, as you mentioned, it's just been through Master and Elite. Great drafts to watch there. And now we are going into the rival, and we will just go ahead and get started here and see who will be that all-important first pick. It is Mistaken Esports, and it is Magic at 1760. And I'm not too surprised about this one. Magic, a very highly rated player, and quite close to the max CMV. A very, very good pickup here for Mistaken Esports.
Yep, would agree. Magic is a nice pickup. Do we see a similarly nice pickup by Stacker though? Because Magic is a very good first pick. And for Sticker's first pick, we have Mensu, also a rather well-known player, I'd say. Didn't have the best season last season, if I remember correctly. He finished 8th in league play, so that's 16th overall. Got a bit to prove this season, but as his CMV is quite good, I believe in him.
Pick 3 here for Azteca is Conflict. And yeah, good pickup for them. 1760. Conflict, very solid player here. Good pick for Azteca.
Yep. Next up,
Chatter.
we have... Yes?
Go.
Yeah, next up we have Team Warwick. I'm trying to nail the transition, but I just realized that you're waiting for me to actually say something. We have Team Warwick with pick number 5, and they pick Afar. I have just realized we skipped Need, I think. Which was pick 3.
I think it was. Yeah, I don't quite know what happened.
Right?
We had a
Okay, Need was there as well. Just so everyone knows, Need picked Conflict in between, and now we saw Afar from Team Warwick on pick 5, and you go on with pick 6 for TBK.
Pick 6 here for TBK is Elite, in the wrong tier by his name, 1755. Good pickup there for Team Berserkers.
Yep, and Aspire pick 7. Pick Resist Jaguar, also a very long-standing player. Won season 15 with Team Miasma it was back then. Don't remember last season, to be fair. I don't think he was played during the season, so he's coming back from a win.
Pick 8 here for Bro is Colo at 1755. A player that I'm not sure if he has had quite that good results in the past, but I know he is a very good player and a very good pickup there for Bro.
Yep, also high player. Seem also high player. He was on management last season, decided he wants to go through draft this season. A pretty valuable player. Also in my committee, events committee, so I have to praise him a lot here. But yeah, good pickup from Death Cloud.
Pick 10 here will be DSQ, and it is tied here. Not too much of a surprise. I'm sure Yo-Yo had a little bit to say about that. But yeah, 1745 tied here. Very, very solid pickup there for DSQ at the 10th pick.
And with God Alliance, we have pick number 11, and they pick Orion, 1740 CMV. He's a pretty, I think, reliable player from what I remember. Didn't had a good last season. Placed last. So also got a lot of proof, same as Metsu.
Pick 12 here for Team Serene. It is Benolman, a player that I'm personally am not too familiar with, but pick 12, I'm sure there is a good reason that they are picking him up this early, and a very good management team has a lot of faith in this player here.
I mean, the better management team comes up now. Pick 13 Dexterity, and we decided to pick VU on our first pick. Long-standing Dexterity member.
Surprise,
Yeah, surprise. Nah, we think he's a good pick.
He is. Pick 14 here for SCR. It is Fat Cat at that 1745 CMV. One of my favorite names in the RSC personally, and a very, very solid player to go along with it. Good pickup here for SCR Esports.
And Brave with pick 15, picking up Delano 806 on 1760 CMV. We're still grabbing the higher players here, close to max value. Also not a name that I've heard before, but as you said, high pick, probably good player.
Pick 16 here for Unitox is Evelios at 1745. Been around for a while, been management a few times, decided to go through draft this season and got picked up in round 1. So I'm sure that he will be quite happy about that. Unitox, very solid franchise and a very solid pickup.
And next one of the newer franchises, pick 17, Chrome Esports pick Sarge. Also not the greatest season last season. I see a pattern here when I read people out, but he got second in season 15. So he's not a bad player. Pick 17, Sarge. I think he will do good.
Yeah, pick 18 here for Team MPB. It is Toby 13466 at the 1720 range. A player that has been around for a while, almost won RSC17 way back in the day. But yeah, he's moved up the tiers. Very solid pick there.
You know who's even longer here? It feels like at least. Stingray, keeper pick from Nexus Esport. First pick rival. He won't be too happy because he can't first pick someone else. But Stingray is a very reliable player. So Nexus can be happy to have him as a gem.
Yeah. And to round out our round 1, it will be Ethereal at 1730 for Shadow Esports. Another very decent pickup to round off a very strong round 1 with some very good names being picked up here in the rival tier. Some of the ones you would expect, with maybe a few surprises mixed in here and there. Shatter, take us through the summary of this round 1.
Yes, sir. First pick, we got Mistaken Esport, who picked Magic. Then we got Mensu Conflict, who was forgotten by our dear producer. Rube Afar Elite Regis Jaguar. I still don't know how to properly pronounce his name. Polo, Steam, Tidier, Ryan, Banalman, View, Fat Cat, Dylan, Evelios Sarge, Toby, Stingray, and, as you just said, Ethereal for Shadow Esports. And with that,
very,
I think we can move.
Yeah, round 1 all done and dusted, and we'll see which franchises can build on their performance in that round 1. First off, it will be DSQ, and it is Bailey at that 1710 CMV mark, a player that I'm a bit familiar with. Very, very solid player, and a very, very solid pickup here for DSQ Esports.
Yep. And next one, Neat. This time we actually have them. Surprise, surprise. And they pick 1750-ish. Hasn't played the last 2 seasons, I think. Season 14 he played, and then season 12 he won the league. So also a player who knows how to win. Maybe Neat also knows how to win. We'll see.
Pick 23 here for Team MPB will be Nure at 1730, teaming up with Toby. And I can see in the chat he's quite happy about that one. Very solid pickup here for Team MPB.
Next up, Dexterity picking up Friday. Surprise, surprise, number 2. Was on their franchise, on our franchise last season already, and it worked so well. We just wanted him to have another time here. Maybe this time we can actually get a win as well.
We'll see. Same CMV as View as well. Now moving on to pick 25 in Death Cloud. It is James, though. I believe that he was on the 20-hour roster that won last season. I think very solid player and very solid pickup for Death Cloud.
Yep, he was on that roster. Who unfortunately didn't quite get that far was Ken Zero, pick 26 from Brave Esport. 1715 joins Keelan on 1760, so they went a bit down in CMV, building a solid roster nevertheless.
Pick 27 here is Change for Mistaken Esports, a player that has been around for a while. Very, very highly rated player, very solid there to pair with Magic. That's looking like it could be a very, very solid roster here for Mistaken Esports.
Yep. Next one, Shadow. Different than most others currently, picking a very high player with Crayon. 1760 joining Ethereal, who's also not that low, so we probably see two more rather low picks from him following that up, but they got a solid core.
Pick 29 for Bro. It is Hard Flame at the 1735. A 20 CMV drop from Colo, teaming up with Colo to take on the rival tier this season.
And next one, we have Unitox with pick 30, and they decided they want to pick Strafe. 1735 CMV. He won the league before, I think twice actually. And also last time he got second in league play. Didn't quite have a good playoff run though, but still second league play. He's a very good player, so Unitox can be happy to have him.
Pick 31 here for Chrome Esports. It will be AV at 1720 to pair up with Sarge at 1740. A lot of these picks being quite close together, I'm noticing. Very good pickup here for Chrome Esports.
Team Serene, they decide to pick my fellow German 1685. They pick E. Also played SSA last season, if anyone's interested in that. But yeah, solid all-around player, I would say. He's nice to play with, so they got a very good player to build up on Bannerman.
Pick 33 here is Maui at 1740 for Aspire Esports. Same CMV as Resist Jaguar, so Aspire looking to go the balanced route here, and it's a very good way to do it with Maui and Jaguar.
Got Alliance, on the other hand. They pick someone that is new to the league, 1745 DRTG. All I know about him really is that he's Dutch. So take what you want. I think Ryan is also Dutch, so they are building something there.
Pick 35 here. Team Berserkers will be picking up Punk at that 1725 to pair up with Elite. And yeah, another very solid pickup here for Team Berserkers.
Team Vortic, they pick Bicho. I suppose people know how to pronounce him because he's a known player. 1680 CMV, I think pretty valuable. So a good pickup to follow Afar on 1755. They're building a good core. Now they have quite some CMV to play with.
Pick 37 here for Illusory. It is Beefcake. Great name. Hopefully a great player. I'm not too familiar with him, but Illusory, very good management team. There's a reason they've picked him up to pair with Rube.
Yep. Can confirm. Next up, pick 38. We have SCR Esports, and they pick 1725 CMV. Keitho, also a new player, joining Fatcat, who is a very established. So Keitho has a good person to learn stuff from. So I think they can shine.
Pick 39 here is Stealthy Wolf at 1720 to pair with Mentsu at 1755. A little bit lower, but very, very good pickup there. Stealthy Wolf, very solid player here for Azteca's second pick in the rival tier.
And closing out round 2 with Mistaken, with a keeper pick Borisa. Last season played for Fork, if I remember correctly, from Bulgaria. 1735. They have a pretty strong core with Magic and Change now. So I look forward to what they want to pick as a sub, and maybe we have a pretty good roster on our hands.
Yeah, and that will round out our round 2 here in the rival tier. It did start with Bailey at the 21st pick, then Ish, then Nure, Friday, Jamzo, Ken0, Change, Crayon, Hard Flame, Strafe, AVE, Maui, RTG, Punk, Bisho, Beefcake, Kifo, Stealthy Wolf, and last but not least, Boriza. So yeah, very, very solid round 2 here from these franchises. A few min players being snuck in as well. And yeah, it's some very interesting picks and some very strong rosters being formed so far.
Yep. looking very nice this far. And I think what we can expect from round 3, more lower players. Most franchises drafted higher players, and we see it with Nets from Nexus Esport, pick 41, 1705 CMV. To be fair, they only have one player this far, but round 3, low player now. Getting with Stingray on the team is never a bad decision. He knows how to play the game. So congrats to Nets.
Pick 42 here is Detroit at 1680. Very solid player, min player there, looking to get that CMV value, and Detroit is a very, very good way to do that, pairing up with Strafe and Avelios on Unitox.
Yep. Next up, Need filling up to Ish and Conflict 2 high players. Branduil, also a fellow German, 1700 CMV. He played last season pretty successfully under TBK. This time for Need Esports. Let's see how he gets going.
Pick 44 here for Illusory, another min player. It is Barciak Flair here, teaming up with Beefcake and Rube on Illusory this season. And yeah, like you said, a lot of those low players going, Barciak Flair being one of them.
Shadow Esports picking up Bubbles as their third player, 1720 CMV. Maybe a few people remember him. He played very far back in like season 7 around. OG pick. Shadow know what they're doing though, so maybe he's still good.
Team Berserkers pitching up HBO6. There's probably a fancy way to say that. I don't know it. I'm just going to spell it out. 1750. Fairly high player, fairly high roster at the moment for them. Interesting to see what they're going to do in round 4 to balance that out.
Next up for Deathcloud, we have Akmo on 1690. Last season actually with the win for Owls. So Bale probably just thought take them again, and that's what they did.
Akmo in bail jail. Pick 48 here is Alex, 1725 for Bro, teaming up with Hardflame and with Colo on that roster, and a very, very solid roster here. It's looking to form for Bro in the rival tier.
Team Serene with pick 49. They pick up Johnny Greenbean, also a name we had last season. Got a few Lothars. Still, the name is great. Maybe he's also that great in game. Last season wasn't his best, but I think he has great potential. It was, I think, his first season in RSC, so he will do great.
Pick 50. Is it any real surprise? It's Yo-Yo. He is DSQ through and through, and once again, he finds himself on DSQ. I'm sure he threatened the managers to make them draft him. Absolutely horrendous pick. No, I'm kidding. I love Yo-Yo.
Nah, I can see that. And he's also on the team with Tidier, so that whatever. But Team Vortic have their keeper pick now, Red, who will follow Bicho and Afar to the team. That also explains why they took such a low player in the second round. Because now they have the 1730, pretty solid CMV. Red are going third for them.
And pick 52, another keeper 2 in a row here. It is Banan at 1730 to pair with Maui and resist Jaguar for Aspire. The AGM gets that keeper pick. Very solid roster there for Aspire.
And Dexterity, best franchise. They pick Emmy 1680. CMV filling up the roster with a rather low CMV player as a sub, because maybe there's one manager that's a keeper pick that will come, which fills the spot in between. Not quite sure, but Emmy, very good player to play with.
Pick 54 here is Mox for SCR Esports, teaming up with Kifo and with Fat Cat. Mox, very, very solid player, obviously high-ranking official in the RSC. Very solid pickup there for SCR.
Long-standing Mox versus newly created SCR. Let's see how that fits the league, but Brave, on the other hand, picks someone also very new. 1725 CMV, Josh. Let's see how he proves himself in this new league for him.
Pick 56 here goes to God Alliance. It is Jackdaw alongside RTG and Ryan. God Alliance looking to have a very strong debut season, and in the rival tier, they are looking like a very strong roster.
Chrome Esports with pick 57. They pick Mori. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know.
1720 CMV though, very nice mod and player admin, helped a lot. Maybe he can also help that much for the team. We never know.
Pick 58 here for MPB is Kinetic, teaming up with Nure and Toby. 1750 in CMV. Very balanced team for them so far. Only 15 CMV between them. Very good pickup here in the latter stages of round 3 for Team MPB.
Yep. And how should it be differently? Nexus pick up Tech A, not so well-known player because he only played as a sub before and never on a team. 1760 CMV, filling the team with Stingray and Nets. So they probably built something very strong, which no one knows because it's only new players.
To round out pick 60, it is Malv, the keeper, 1725. I can't keep track of how many trophies he has at this point, but a very, very solid player here for Azteca and a very good pickup for them, albeit they didn't have much competition because he's a keeper.
Yep. And to summarize the third round for Rival, we have Nexus starting with Nets, then we have Detroit, Brandwheel, Barsiak Flare, Bubbles, HBO6, Akmo, Alex, Johnny Greenbean, Yo-Yo, Red Bannon Mode, Emmy, Mox, Josh, Jackdaw, Mori, Kinetic, Tech, and Morph. And for your information, he should have 3 trophies, if I'm not mistaken.
I have to give a shout out to Johnny Greenbean, one of my favorite names I've
That
ever
name
heard
is
in the
great.
RSC. Love that name. We'll see if there are any more brilliant names in this round 4, but for right now, it is Spence at 1685, being the lowest player on that Shadow Esports roster and rounding it out very, very nicely at the pick 61.
Yep, next up we have Nexus Esports again. They pick up on pick 62. Phoenix, 1680 CMV, min player for them. Phoenix played last season for me actually in Challenger though, so he moved up a tier. And he also has a trophy from season 10 where they won with Team Icicle.
Storani is the next pick at pick 63 for MPB. There was a time in the season where he was min prospect on the tier list. That didn't last very long. Very solid player. Been around for a while and a very good pickup here for MPB.
And for Team Vortic, we have Lettern 1715 CMV. Fits right into the middle, I think, looking at their team. That should probably be a very balanced team. Also, quite played some seasons now, Portuguese lad. So we will see if he can bring Andre power to them.
1680, we have Evoke, another min player going. You'll see a lot of those here in this round 4. God Alliance picking up Evoke. Very, very solid pickup there for that 4th slot on a very solid roster.
And then we have Unitox pick 66. They pick Azamil. Same CMV as Strafe with 1735. Also a rather known name, I would say. Hasn't won the league yet. Maybe this time with Strafe, Detroit, and Ivilios. It's his time.
Yeah, SCR will get that next pick, and it will be Jo, another min player going 1680 CMV, teaming up with Mox, Kifo, and Fat Cat. Very, very solid roster there for SCR.
And I obviously get the DXT pick again, and we picked Toe 1695 CMV. Also a rather low player, because we want to have options, you know? Nah, just kidding. Toe is a very good player. I had him on my team before. That's why we also went with him again. He's a very good player.
Yeah, I do agree. And the next pick for Aspire, it will be Wonder at that 1685 mark. Very solid player in the Challenger tier last season. Stepping up into Rival. Let's see if he can make that step up. I'm sure he'll perform very, very well.
And for Brave Esports pick 70, we have another new player with Subi 1680 CMV. Also towards the lower side, or rather a min player for their roster they have currently. He will be playing with Josh, Kenzero, and Sileno.
Chrome Esports here at pick 71, and it is alone at the 17-15 CMV mark. So 4 kind of mid CMV players there for Chrome Esports, maybe looking at a bit of a rotation roster. We'll see who can cement themselves on the main roster, unless some day 2 players can sneak their way in there.
And going to Johnny Green Bean, best name we had so far. Team Serene pick Loisen, also known as Lifeless, if I'm not mistaken. 17-20 CMV, also has a win in season 13. Last season he got 4th, so very good player. They had just picked.
Bro picking up Vortex or Texvor at 1695. Very solid player, very mechanical player, and a very solid pickup here to round out this Bro roster for day 1.
And following that, Death Cloudy Sports with pick 74. They picked JRise1705. Mates being Asim Jamizo Akmo. JRise also doesn't have too bad of a record, I think, but also rather a new player.
Yeah, and pick 75 here for Team Berserkers. It is Taipai, the keeper, pick 1705, teaming up with Elite, with Punk, and with HBO6. So very, very solid day 1 draft here for the rival tier for Team Berserkers.
Team Vortic with pick 76. They pick Battersea 1730 CMV. Also, wanting to point out, they already have 5 picks, so they traded something somewhere. Battersea, a new player, so not quite sure what to expect. But with Team Vortic, he will have a good place to pop up.
Pick 77 here for Illusory is Edgy at 1730, rounding out their roster very nicely. Second highest player CMV wise on that roster, and I'm sure he'll be a very, very good pickup for them this season.
And second to last player, we have Cyrix Prime 1680 CMV. Also, the lowest player on their roster, but with Conflict and Ish, they have 2 very high players, so that makes sense. Getting a proper form and roster. Also, new player from the UK. So, same as we just had with Battersea. He has a lot of room to show off.
Pick 79 here goes to Azteca, and it is MC Dead at 1680. Another min player going, rounding out the roster of Mentsu, Stealthy Wolf, and Malv very, very nicely.
And the final pick for Arrival for today was taken by Mistaken Esports with Coben, also main players 1680. Looking at their roster, that also makes sense though, because they have quite a lot of players above 1700. Coben has played before. I think last time, maybe season 13, he was on the team, or 14, I'm not too sure. But also a name you have heard before, and you know that he will perform for them.
Yeah, and that does conclude our round 4 and our day 1 rival draft. Running through the round 4 picks very quickly. It is Spence, Phoenix, Sturani, Lattern, Evoke, Azamil, Jo, Toe, Wonder, Subi, Alone, Loyson, Texvor, Jairise, Taipai, Batesy, Edgy, Cyrix, McDead, and Coben. That does conclude our rival draft. Before we go, very quickly, Shattered, anything that kind of stood out to you from that?
A general rival, I think what stood out was the amount of new players we had. I think it felt quite a lot. There's generally a lot of new players in League, but especially in the earlier rounds, we heard quite a few names that we haven't heard before. Also, some people that we know from lower and higher tiers kind of moved to rival, like some elites I remember, some challengers I remember. So it's gonna be a very interesting season, nevertheless, on which team you are.
Yeah, always great to see new players coming in and looking to make a name for themselves. And that does conclude our rival day 1 draft. And we are halfway through this day 1. We've got 3 more tiers to go. We've got the 3 lowest tiers to go. Next will be Challenger. We will be right back after a very short break, so make sure you stick around.
This is Trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at them exact movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch. It's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
This is Trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at them exact movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch. It's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. We're the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
This is This is Trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at them exact sort of movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
Welcome back, everyone, to our RSC17 draft. And returning from the break, you have two returning people who haven't been on the stream for quite a long time now. It's my first draft in about 2 to 3 years, I think, with how many seasons we've had since. And Buddha, our favourite RScast member, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, thank you. The gas is crazy. First time for myself doing a draft stream, so I'll enjoy it whilst I can. Seeing the chat telling me some different things. No, not an RSC. I'm sorry, but no, it should be a good time. You know, alongside me and you, we played around this here for a little bit here and there. So hopefully we can see some crazy picks come out and see what teams get formed.
Yeah, you have played well enough to actually keep your challenger status. I, on the other hand, am washed and the prospect now. So I'm looking forward to that next tier. I wasn't expecting to be on the stream today, but here we are, helping Mal out. And
you just heard I was here, obviously.
Yeah, you made me return.
Of course,
but we'll head straight to the first pick in Challenger. Oh, rival, sorry.
I mean,
here we go. So we have Tank. We have Tank now, and he is a returning player, obviously. He won with Illusory, I believe. What season was that? Was it last season or the season before?
Season before.
Season before. Dominant team as well. But number 2, we have Compact Bugger.
Yeah, Compact, great player. He's definitely upcoming, rising up a little bit. Last season, I believe he did play in Prospect. He looked like a pretty good player, and he also increased and got himself to Challenger. He's definitely a good pick.
Yeah, pick number 3 for Team MPB is Yak. Had a good performance last season. I believe he was initially Challenger, but then promoted himself to Rival. He is at 1665.
Yak won, Charlie.
Did he?
Yeah, he won it with Sam Dusk and Akbo.
Oh, he did. I casted that final. This just goes to show how long I haven't done this for.
It's the age, chat. It's the age. But Jarian from DSQ Esports, I believe he was on the roster of Compact, I believe, in Prospect. He was a really solid player. Very questionable if he shouldn't have been there, but decent player. But heading over to Skips here, Arch, for Death Club.
Yeah, Skips at 1650. I believe he was Rival last season as well. I'm not too sure what team he was on. This is going a lot faster than it used to, so I'm struggling to get to the spreadsheet here. But next up is Spacey.
Spacey, he's been everywhere in the tiers, I swear, in RSC. And here he is, finding himself in Challenger. A very good first pick for Brave Esports. And heading up to SCR Esports, a new franchise coming in with Dizzy42 here, Arch.
Yeah, Dizzy at 1645 has been promoted into the tier from his performance last season and his new peak. He was the finalist with Dispatch's team. I won't mention the unfortunate boost grab that he made to make that final go to Game 7. We'll move on to pick number 8.
Yeah, over at Mistaken, we picked Psych. I believe he did team with Flossie last season, and I pretty much picked him. I saw how decent he was, scrimming against him, did a few privates with him, and I picked him up. But moving over to Aspire's pick, with their first pick, it will be Alex.
Yeah, Alex at 1620. Not too sure on his history, but we move on to pick number 10.
For Unitox, number 10 will be Axlos, a well-known name around RSC, especially if you've been here for a bit of time. He's had many placements in different tiers. He's competed in the rival tier quite a several amount of times, and I believe he had about 57 games with Quantum back in Season 7, and just continued dominance and great competition. But heading over to Chrome Esports Archon, we got Panda himself, who had quite a bit of eyes on him last season.
Yeah, he played on Fearless Esports, obviously your franchise, in Season 14 with 16 games, and in Season 15 for 20 hours, 61 games. Again, 20 hours, 16 games as well in Season 16. Very good player, and he was actually a teammate of mine. But moving on to pick 12 is Cozy.
Yeah, Cozy from God Alliance here, 1605. played in season 13 for Might of Hades, playing every single game in the season. So obviously a very clinical player for the roster. But going for bro community here with Cynics at pick 13.
Yeah, Cynics has been a player since season 8. He's had a range of results in the RSC. He's been in a range of tiers as well. I think going up to Elite at one point as well, but now finds himself in Challenger. But we found TC at pick 14.
TC, from what I know of, is a very new and unknown name for me myself. So unfortunately, I can't really gas him up too much. But you've been first round pick, so I'm sure you're a very decent player. Look forward to see how he is in the Challenger tier this season.
And speaking of first round picks, at pick 15 for Team Berserkers, we have Azazel. Has just found himself at Max Chelly instead of low rival. Has been decaying a lot in rank. He used to be an 1800 master player, I believe, 3 or 4 years ago.
Onesie in the first round for Team Vortic. You saw him last season on Shadow, a great player with the right teammates that can enable him. If Vortic drafted a decent team this season, he could be yet again a player to watch this season.
I don't quite think he'll play in 2 different tiers this season either, unless he goes up to rival as well. But here we have fresh mint. I believe it's fresh now on the database. Don't have updated information for him, but he is on Illusory at 1675.
Nexus Esports with another round 1 pick alongside Compact will be Crim Killer, a very well-known cheap player in the previous seasons, very good for fantasy league, already been picked up in round 1 at 1620, just shows how good he will be. But moving on to Azteca.
Yeah, and Azteca, we have Mars on Earth at 1675. I believe he was a player for Shadow at one point. I'm not too sure on his performances, but here he is on Azteca.
The last pick for round number 1 from Dexterity will be a keeper, Blizzy26. Also, you have traded up for another pick straight after, but Blizzy has been around since, I believe, season 9. So a bit of a veteran now in the RSC League. So I'm sure with their next pick, it will be someone that they trust to do well this season.
Yeah, and that rounds up the full round 1, the first 20 picks of Challenger. And some very well-known names there, Buddha, who are very much experienced in the tier either here or below or coming down from rival.
For sure. I mean, you got Tank, who's not even max CMV, definitely could be a very crucial player in the tier, depending if he takes scrims seriously this season. Compact, he is up and coming. He's definitely improved over the time from his prospect season. And Yak, I mean, everyone saw him in playoffs. We know what he's like. I got the pleasure of having him on my team for a couple of weeks. A great, great teammate. And just so many other names here. You got Panda himself. You got Onesie, who's rising. Azazel, like you said earlier, just been on the decay, but it's a player who can get back to the top. And there's so many other more names, but we don't want to waffle on the way too long. So I won't go through every single player.
Yeah, just a note on Panda himself. This might be the actual season that he needs for his confidence boost, because he's a player who is very good, and I've always rated him, but he's always had that kind of negative opinion of himself, and he now finds himself at 1635 and somewhere where someone wants him at first pick.
Oh yeah, being first rounded definitely gives you a confidence boost. It's just depending, do you go into that preseason with a bit of pressure, like, oh, I'm the first pick, I need to be the player that, picks the team up and takes them forward. Hopefully that pressure doesn't get to him, and hopefully has a good team around him to lift him up.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Mal to transition the screen. Here we go. We do resume with pick 20, which is Blizzy, but I believe Dexterity will have the next pick as well.
Sometime soon. Oh,
there we go. Pick 21 for Dexterity is Ori Hinastrehe. I probably butchered that name, but maybe have simpler names next time.
To be fair, you've done better than me. But coming from Azteca Esports, Aries, definitely a player well known around here. Did play a bit last season, originally for Owls, and that roster did disband, and then went up to Rival for a sub-season. If he's playing properly in Challenger this season, definitely a player to look out for. But sometimes it just depends on his team, so I'm not too sure if he'll continue. But heading over to Shadow's pick, Arch.
Yeah, Shadow Refexy at 1605 is pick 23. I believe is a new player because I don't have any information on the database for him. But just a note on Ares. Ares was one of the first people I got drafted to in season 3 on his team, so a long time player there.
Mr. Butt Snorkler for Illusory. He's definitely been on the rise a little bit. I believe last season he played for the system of Solaris, played majority of the league games, and unfortunately didn't really go too far in the playoffs, but definitely some talent within the player. And heading over to Team Vortic, and this name, it brings me PTSD. Please take this one.
Kendo, a long-time staff member, did win the tier in season 14, I believe. Yeah, for Chipotle. Performance has been a bit up and down. Season 16 was 8th in league, playing 16th in results, so couldn't back up that trophy win.
Heading over for Team Berserkers with their pick 26, Mac2322. Again, another player who's been from back in the depths of season 8. A very long-term player looking to continue that veteranness with some more experience. And heading over already for DeathCloud Esports, a name that is recognized in the higher tiers if you've been around long enough, Arch.
Yeah, Next Fox started in season 6, played 28 games for Overture, played sporadically since then, season 8, season 13. ERS 2024 was his last played time, was master at one point, I believe.
And now he's getting to chilling in Chally Bro Community with Terry. Will be alongside with Cynics for this roster. Has been around since season 9. I believe his most recent season was in season 15 for Fort Templar, making to make a return. And already in round number 2, we have 2 Blue Luke Arch for Team Serene. Very good pickup, in my opinion.
Very good player. I really rate him. I would have liked him in Prospect because I would love to team with him at some point. Very nice lad. Been here since season 12 and played every season since, I believe. He's played most with Sensor in 55 series.
Heading over for Nate Esports, Dark. Now, only proper OGs will know this name. He played all the way back in season 4, and I believe 5, 7, and 8 in RSC, making a long-awaited return. Look forward to see how he can perform here in, well, a new tier probably for him. Probably wasn't called Challenger back then.
Yeah, he won in season 4 with me, actually, my first ever season. I love Dark. He's a great player. Recently seen him in 6-mans, but we have Bluegi at pick 31.
Already over for Aspire. Mr. Poggy, a great player, all-round player. At 1660, will be playing alongside with Alex. Always had a, an all-right history in the Challenger tier. I believe the season before last didn't do too bad, if I remember rightly. But going over to my pick, I might as well as it's mine. Kazafai at 1625. I believe he is roughly a new player within the league. And I can say, you know what Buddha does. He always goes for a mechanical player in this team, and Kazafai is that man.
Yeah, what made you pick him? Because he is a new player.
Well, I saw his value, and I heard that he was mechie, so got him in the private trial, and here he is.
Okay, moving on to pick 34 for SCR Esports. It is Eddie, someone who has gone down in ELO. He is still in Challenger. He played in season 12 and ever since season 14, 15, and 16. He's played with Niche in 15 series in his career.
Brave picking up a Leighton in pick 35. Was briefly on my team last season. Player's got potential, just has to get the right team around him. So hopefully Brave build that roster for him. Definitely a player with great potential. But moving on to God Alliance with Cade.
Yeah, one franchise I'm glad has applied and I've learnt the name properly because I used to call it Gold Alliance, not Godalliance. So I'm glad I've learnt something new this season. But yeah, Cade, I don't have any information on. He's a new player.
Over for Chrome Esports, Bronan, the keeper pick. You all know Ronan from the season before last, winning the tier with Tank, who we mentioned about earlier. And he'll be here playing in Challenger again, maybe looking for another trophy in the same tier. We'll see how that turns out. But heading over to Team MPB.
Yeah, and pick 38 is a keeper. It's Flossie. Did have a really weird season last season. He probably overstayed his welcome on the team, in my opinion. He did a lot of changes on the team instead of changing himself. They did end up making play-ins, I believe, so it might have worked. But next up, we have Dispatch.
Dispatch, the keeper pick for DSQ. Always always kind of coming and going within the leagues, and he's back again and in management this time for DSQ. I remember my first season joining RSC, I unfortunately did get knocked out by him in playoffs. So yeah, hopefully he doesn't do that again this season. Now he's in the same tier as me.
Yeah, and moving on, we have Mr. Efficiency for Shadow. He is their AGM this season. He's usually the GM. I have a lot of history from Season 8 onwards for this, so I won't go too much into it. But I don't think he's ever... no, he won this season, didn't he, with Wannsee?
No, they lost
No,
in the final.
No, finalist. Lost in the final. There we go. So he still hasn't won a trophy yet.
just had to rub it in for him, pretty much, didn't you? You set that up.
Yeah.
Well, round number 2 for the Challenger draft. As you see on the screen, these are all of your picks and already some more strong names. And I do like from Team Serene already securing their kind of low CMV player, a very talented low CMV player with potential for main roster in this tier, and plenty of handful pickups there. I mean, we see Dark make the return. We got Ronan here back in Challenger, seeing if he can, make his own team with that keeper pick. And I mean, just see some new names here. Very excited to see how they perform. When you see new names get drafted early, there's something and there's potential.
Yeah, 100%. But I feel like a lot of franchise managers have gone with proven rather than untested so far in the tiers that I've seen. I think tomorrow will be the main day that we see a lot of unknowns go. But yeah, as you said, a lot of experience in RSC here in these top 2 rounds. As we
just talked about
41. Yeah, Saturday for Nate Esports. I believe this is a new player.
It's not a new day, I can tell you that. It's Friday, but I guess we'll head to tomorrow's draft after this, I guess. But yeah, Saturday, new player. Maybe took inspiration from Friday. Maybe we'll see a Sunday in tomorrow's draft. Who knows?
He is Irish, so he's probably affiliated with Nate.
That makes sense. They've always got some names kicking up. But moving on to Nexus, Luke Foss, a very known player, especially for the Challenger tier. Always been a very strong player for his value. Definitely a very good target. And already looking at this team, Luke Foss, Crim Killer, and Compact, I'm already seeing that as a scary team on paper.
Yeah, indeed. And Team MPD will be hoping that Rubix makes this a scary team as well with Flo and Yak. He's played since Season 9, played in Season 11, 12, 14, 15, only missed a couple of seasons. So moving on to pick 44 is DSQ with Hazard.
A great pick here, especially for value. I know Hazard has been on the grind recently. So for value, he's definitely going to be a great pickup, a great essential player for the roster, depending on the type of build that they're going for. But being in round 3, I'd assume he should be in the plans. And straight after him, his duo, Sir Pegasus.
Yeah, his pair for his stream team. And he has played since Season 12. He's played the most series with GC Exile, which is surprising since they're usually different tiers in 17 series and then Meaty Pig in 16.
For Brave, it will be Venom Aspect. This is another player who has come from the prospect tier in the previous season for KDJ. It was alongside Compact. Coming in round 3, definitely showing us these prospect players are up and coming as they get their new peaks. And what a great name here, Mushroom Arch.
Yeah, Mushroom. We don't have any data on him other than he's played with Hunter, Sam, Masters, and Robbo for 1 series. So I'm not sure how we have data, but he's got 8 games. So he must have been a PFA or something like that.
Just a cheeky series in, just dip the toes in the water. But for dexterity, it will be a Phantom here in their round 3 pick. Has got a bit of history within the RSC. Played in Season 14 for 20R and has played recently for 20R yet again. Maybe it's time to move and go to dexterity as 20R won't be here, seeing how he does this season. Moving on to Aspire with Rox.
Yeah, Rox feels weird to be anywhere other than Illusory this season after stepping down from management. He's played since Season 6, had a long break until Season 11, and has been a player in RSC really ever since.
Unit tops with Hakan ATW at 16.05. Did play last season with Unitox and pretty much played majority of the game. So the franchise is obviously happy with the player and looking to bring him up into the Challenger tier. We'll see how he can perform here this season. But pick 51, it will be from Daryl.
Yeah, from Daryl, better known as Sample at the moment. He is doing a college music production course and changed his name recently. He's only really signed up for season 13, ERS 2024, and ERS season 3. So we'll be looking to make his name in RSC for his first season.
From Death Cloud Esports, we will have Hamish at 1640. Has finished, unfortunately, had some low placements in previous seasons, but season 14 did get 4th. So maybe look for a top 3 finish this season. But moving on to Bro Community with a returning player from last season who did not too bad.
Yeah, Hikari played in season 15 for Team Amphibians, played 20 games. Season 16 for DSQ, 32 games. Unfortunately, it's another player who, with a lack of confidence, he was a good, decent player, but he cut himself after one series with me. Hopefully, I wasn't the problem. But yeah, he's back in Challenger this season.
D Smiles of Team Serene. Fortunately, does say there's no data, but I do recognize the name about within the server. So maybe definitely not really got into league game phase yet. Maybe just hanging about. Look to see what he can bring this season. But already onto Team Berserkers, Aussie.
Yeah, Aussie, a defending champion at the moment, but he's going up a tier, so he's struggled a lot more than he did last season, I believe, after winning Prospect. Has been a player since season 9 in RSC.
The Team Vortic, they have Tobo alongside with Kendo and Wanzi. If this works, it could be a potential team to look out for. But Tobo with so much history, going all the way back in the first season of ERS as well. But already moving on to Illusory, we have Hoggy.
Yeah, Hoggy indeed. He was close to Prospect until we did our last bunch of manual adjustments, thinking, how is this guy in Prospect when he literally dominated Rival last time he was there? He's had a long break, I think, since season 13.
Pick 58. Oh my. Pathological. Come on, we know Buddha and pronunciations. It's terrible. It never happens. Why have you done this to me? Why have I been set up like this?
It is a brand new player, so you get away with not having to speak much about him. But Mistrak is a really nice player. I managed him in season 12 for Team Serene when he was just a lowly 1200, who wasn't even at the 1200 limit back then. He's improved a lot, and his mechanics were also always his strong suit.
Mistaken Esports with some weird player who can't win a grand finals at 1620, but as the keeper pick. Hopefully he can maybe get out of the net and maybe score a couple of goals, and that will actually round up for round number 3.
Yeah, indeed. If we see Buddha on a team of the week, it is usually because his Bunda's in there.
Yep. That's all I do.
But again, there's some experienced names in here and a couple of unknowns. Saturday, Mushroom. But yeah, this one name that stands out to me here is D Smiles. I'm not sure he really got the chance to make his name last season. Was he in Rival? I'm not too sure.
Not too sure, but I do remember doing a pickup scrim against him. So he could have been around in the Challenger tier. But like I said, I've always seen him about in the server. He looks like a player that wants to get stuck in within the league. So hopefully it sticks out for the season. Hopefully, makes the final cut of the team, or even finds himself a team after preseason if that is a scenario. But yeah, like you said, plenty of good names here as well. I mean, you got a couple of players here who just maybe looking to prove themselves a bit in Challenger as well.
Yeah, as I said, From Darrow will be one of those. Hasn't really had an RSC season other than playing 20 games. So hopefully we see him play more. But Vapid's one of your ex-Fearless guys at 1575, I'm mistaken.
Yeah, it was Prospect the whole time. And then at the end, he shot the Challenger. So I thought to pick him up, just thought to reunite with the IRL. Could potentially have some potential Challenger. But already moving on to Azteca Avelia, who is previously known as Rev with an NXZ at the end, for any other players who don't know the rename.
Yeah, and moving on to Nate at pick 63, we have Peep. And if you're not seeing the what a save being spammed in chat, he's not being toxic, he's just Peep.
Oh, there's so many things about Peep. You've got tectonic plates. there's so many. But moving on to Illusory, Rollinator did play last season, I believe. I remember playing against him. I believe it was for Team Serene. Very decent player and looking, it was, player in this, mumbo jumbo. 1580 alongside with Hoggy, Butt and freshman SCR Esports at pick 65.
I was just going to say that's an illusory team if you've ever seen one. But next up, Moonface has played in Season 6 for Celestial. That's one of the old franchises. And Season 15 finished 7th in league play and 14th in final results with 20R.
Going to pick 66 for Team Berserkers Lucidity. I believe is a new player coming into this league. Was prospect majority of the time, and I believe he asked to come up to Challenger. Feels like Challenger would be more for him. So I look forward to see how he performs here in the tier, and welcome to the league.
Yeah, and next up is Mauro DK, another player with a big history in RSC, so I won't go too much into it, but has played since Season 9, started with Override, finishing off with Season 16 for Death Cloud Esports last season with 75 games.
Pro community with pick 68. Q Tezo, I believe, was the sub for Shadow Esports last season, who did get second in playoffs. So definitely had some crucial sub games within the season. A low CMV player for the tier this season. But moving on to pick 69, Archeon.
Yeah, and this will be short and sweet. M-Trimp, no data on him. He's from Romania. He's 1650 and playing for Team Serene.
Lovely jubbly. Easy as that at pick 69 as well. Beautiful pick. Moving on to pick 70, Chrome Esports. Who will they select? It will be Lynx. And no, it's not the Lynx in High Elite. No, it's not him. He did not just thought to come chill down in Challenger. It's going to be Challenger Lynx, which there is so many about. And if it's the one I think it is, there's unfortunately no data.
But there is data on this person. Dutz has been around ever since Season 6 with Override. Was part of that franchise for a long time until they left, then moved to Ox for a couple of seasons. And he finished with Dexterity last season with 44 games, as well as playing 24 on Owls Esports.
Oh, I am feeling a bit hungry, and luckily, Chicken Nugget _ 1362 for a spy here, 1595. No data, but sure is tasty.
Yeah, I'd love to know what goes through people's heads when they pick a gamer name. But moving on to Lucas, we have him playing in Season 11 for Panthera Esports with 63 games. Did play for Shadow Esports in 22 games last season. The player he's played with most is Niche again at 36 series.
Coming up, pick 64. It will be a keeper pick here from Team Vortic. The Master Kulag played in, previous season 16 for 20R, only with 17 games, and 17 games again in Season 13. Will it be 17 games again? I guess we'll find out this season, especially with less weeks. Might be a little bit more difficult. But on to Brave Esports Archeon, Grizzly Bear, KB.
Yeah, Grizzly. I'm really surprised I saw this name in this tier when I looked at it, because he's always someone who's moaned that he's too overvalued and doesn't really peak, and then all of a sudden he's in Challenger. Last time I saw him, he was Prospect or Academy. So moving on is pick 76 is Niche.
Niche for God Alliance here. He's always been a prospect go, a little bit of a farmer for the Fantasy League, always plays for the vibes. If he's got a good team around him, which is Sir Pegasus with great vibes and Kane and Cozzy, it could be a team to run it. But Niche back into Challenger and going for DSQ Esports, Seraphim, I want to say.
Yeah, I think this is a name change. I'm not too sure. Oh, it's Shin. So Shin has played since Season 11. He's only just changed his name. He's played with Stingray for 31 series. That's his highest teammate in the league. He won the league in Season 14 with Chapatli on Kendo's team.
Kendo, that guy who beat me. On to pick 78 for Team MPB, Hunter Sam. A name should be recognizable within around the RSC scene. First joined in Season 5. And I believe the most recent season was Season 16 for Alpha Search, almost playing every single league game, so definitely a crucial player. Top 5 teammates was Avelios with 45 series.
Yeah, Sam finds himself there on the ELO alone as well. Isn't actually peaking. So a big step up from your prospect performance to Challenger. I know he's been there and done it before. But we move on to pick 79 at Nexus with Tracy. And this is a player who's only played 11 games in RSC, so I believe he's just been a PFA in the past, and he's played with Max Power for 2 series. That's his only history.
Ooh, Max Power. I've not seen that name around in a little while, but pick number 80 for round 4. Golden 5151. I was in the draft room for this, and it was an interesting how it was picked. Obviously, I won't leak down the stream. I won't do that. But no history, so it's going to be a random player. But the last pick for day number 1 for Challenger. We'll see if it brings some luck. I mean, the numbers have got to mean something. 5151. Who knows what it could be? Could it be goals, saves, own goals? I don't know.
Yeah, as we finish round 4, and that does conclude Challenger. Again, a lot of names to look back on through RSC history. However, some with a not so big history or new players, and we'll be looking at those to bump up the rosters and obviously get their day 2 picks tomorrow to finalize those rosters.
Only one more day of draft, and just looking at these picks around 4, it's actually quite a good mix. You've got players who've kind of come back from a higher tier. You've got players kind of coming back up from the lower tiers. You've got Niche, he's kind of been dipping up and down. A while back, he was elite. Went back down the prospect, now he's back here. And the last time Peep was sub on a roster, his team did win the tier. So it could be a sign for Nate Esports there after coming from a master victory. They could be going for a cheeky back-to-back franchise trophy, but plenty of names here as well. Nice to see Duts back in the league. I know he kind of took time away after, just starting a life of his own, but just so many good players here. Look forward to see how they hold up.
I thought you were describing our RSC careers then, going up to elite and then coming back down.
Yeah, no, let's not talk about ours.
I will correct you on the Pete thing. You did end up as sub on Flo's team at the end of last season.
He promoted. I wouldn't count it as legit, but
he did. But a lot of pressure on him to bring back that performance that he did with Azteca when they did win the tier back all those time ago when Morv was challenger as well.
Oh,
and here we have Mal on the screen. I believe we should just be able to go straight into prospect. No, we don't need a break.
No.
Oh no, Mal wants a break.
No.
Okay,
he wants a break.
Global
game jam. I'm just having a look at his ball.
Well, we will be back very soon once Mal has his break and hopefully doesn't break anything, but he does fix it within 2 seconds. He gladly tells us.
Shadows fall over my heart. I black out the moon. I wait for you to come around. You got me dancing in the dark. I've closed my eyes, but I won't sleep tonight. Baby, you should come with me. I'll take you to the dark side. Me and you and me, do bad things in the nighttime. Baby, you should come with me, and we can.
I'm the storm that meets the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RSC17 draft. You still have me and Buddha. We've decided to stay on. Thank you to Char for doing the previous top 2 tiers, but me and Buddha are going to take 2 as well to give him a bit of a break. So we will get straight into Prospect, Buddha, and I'll let you take the first one because my draft was spoiled before this.
Oh, pick number 1. I wonder who it could be coming from Brave East. Hold on a minute. I think I recognise that name, chat. I think he's on the screen. The man himself, Archeon at 1555. So, live into how's it feel to be pick 1 in Chally? Prospect.
It's better than being picked for Might of Hades on drafting the only season that you were looking forward to draft. So when I was told this last night, I kind of felt indifferent. I was glad I was picked 1, but I was also disappointed that I'm not experiencing draft again, really. But moving on to Good Aliens, we have Sensor at 1530, a well-known player. He has played in Challenger as well, and I know that they really did want to prioritise this pick as well.
Well, coming at pick number 3, maybe Omar. Maybe his name is Omar. If you remember some time ago, I believe he was on the roster of symbiotes that dominated a Challenger run. Looking to make a return here in Prospect, maybe to replicate that performance. But pick number 4, it's another player who lacks confidence, but has the potential.
So much potential, but he never realises it. It's Calf. He's been playing since season 8. Had a few seasons breaks in between. Looks like he plays like every other season in early seasons. He did finish 3rd in season 13 in league play, 6th in final results. And last season, he finished in 16th place.
Corentia here in pick number 5, has been playing since the depths of season 9. Most played with Fat Fish Tank 24 series, and then Mov of 19 series, who is definitely not in the same tier as him now. But pick number 6, Archeon, Jason Kami.
Jason, another player who's dropped from Challenger in the past. He's a very good player for his CMV usually, but again, I don't think he really has the confidence. He could easily be a main player.
Another recognisable name here, pick number 7, Kincaid. Played for a Waifu fan club back in season 5, a very long time ago. I believe has played for Symbiotes quite a few multiple times as well. Most played with Maui of a 23 series, close with Bokeh Super 20. But moving on to pick 8 for Azteca Esports.
Yeah, Kincaid, a good in IRL friend of mine as well. But Aka played in season 14 with Green Phoenix, played 100 games. I believe that would be playoffs as well. Season 15 played for 20R with 92 games. And season 16 for 56 games last season. So it looked like in his first 2 seasons he did make playoffs.
I feel like it's a name that I've recognised, but unfortunately not a lot of data. Mason SP at pick number 9. Most series played is 1 with Sam and Aya. A lot of series here in RSC. But moving on to pick number 10 already with Jason.
Yeah, SBN Jason was a franchise manager last season for 20R. With them not being in the league anymore, he is moving over to Illusory. Did finish 7th in league play and 14th in final results with 20 Riflemen. He has played 529 games in RSC with a 47% win rate.
Moving on to pick 11, Taffy Jones for dexterity here. Remember, did play for my franchise Fearless a way time ago. Has played for quite a few seasons with DSQ. Definitely going to be a good pickup here in a prospect. But moving on to another recognisable name as well in pick 12.
Yeah, and Tom O'Lad played in season 14 for Fearless Esports. I believe he moved there mid-season. Played in ERS 2024 for Sanctuary with 108 games. I don't know whether he won that season. I think he might have played with Yo-Yo. I'm not too sure. But he did finish 8th in league play under Fearless Esports. He has come back from a break and was almost Chally, but he is prospect.
Mistaken Esports at pick 13 with a Flip Pip. Was a champion in the substitute spot for Owls Esports last season. A very potential player who could have gotten to that main roster spot, but unfortunately the team was just too good. But pick number 14, Ansu for Pro Community.
Yeah, Ansu's a really weird one to understand where he's going to be at. This could be crazy undervalued, or he could just be washed. He has been an elite rival in the past when the tier boundaries were different, so a good chance for Bro to take there.
Aya in pick 15 at 1550 plays most series with White Pony, 42 series, has played around for Sanctuary, Aspire, the Sanctuary just multiple times, but already moving on to pick 16, merits a recognizable name back in the prospect tier.
Yeah, Merits is someone I actually GM'd when I was Symbiote's manager in season 11. He moved to me in mid-season when it was prospect back then. Did finish season 14 third in league play and second in final results in Alta, but has had a break since then.
At pick 17 from Unitox XLI Nations, a name you should recognize at 1545. Played the most with Yo-Yo. My condolences to you, Nations, but welcome to Prospect. Hopefully you do well. But moving on to Aspire with Hilo at 1530.
Yeah, Hilo has a bit of a different tainted history in RSC from early seasons, but he's back now and he's playing more regularly than ever. I think he played in the RS 2024. I don't believe he played last season, actually. Can't see any history. It's got it down as season 13, but I'm pretty sure he registered last season. I'm sure he was in Charlie or Rival.
Well, quickly on that pick 19 for Team Vortic, it was Wally, who is now management. It was a keeper pick, has recently joined at season 14 for Forge, and then moved on with Dexterity, and now looks to manage his way maybe to the organization with some wins alongside himself in the prospect tier, and just go through with pick 20, which was yet another keeper.
I thought you were going to say, yet again, pick 20 is SCR Esports, because they had a bit of a tough period of franchise rankings, didn't they? And as we see, Blakios there in last place as well. Hopefully their results don't transfer to the franchise rankings. But yeah, a lot of experience on here, buddy.
Yeah, plenty of experience. I mean, some returning names also as well on the page here, as we see. Prospect, it always seems to rise over time, and it definitely looks at this season. You got some players who've got some, from experience in higher tiers, or just come back around. Some very notable names on the page. I mean, you got Kath, who we talked about earlier. The ceiling potential is there. It's just the confidence. I mean, we've got plenty of good players. You've got Aya, a very strong player as well within this tier. I mean, Taffy Jones should be doing well, especially for that value as well. I think he could be a potential player here, depending if he's back on form. I mean, there's just so many names. You've got Kincaid, you've got Nations, you've got Flip here. It's round one for a reason.
Yeah, definitely. You see people going down tiers and up tiers as well. But one player we don't have any information on is Minor RL. And I believe this could be a good pick because they spoke to me about this person initially. He is on his peak. He looks like a vastly improving player. So a tactical pick there by SCO.
Team Baltic at pick 22 with a Reki for 1470. Did play in season 16 for Nate Esports, 70 games on the paper as well. So definitely a main crucial player. Most paid for GT Thunder with 12 series, but on to 23 with Pro Community.
Yeah, and that's KB, a well-known player nowadays. He had a break between season 11 and 13, but came back in season 14, 15, and 16, playing very regularly. He finished his last place he was 10th in league, playing 19th in final results with Chamali last season. So looking for a massive improvement there.
A huge return, but for Unitox, Shaki Boy has come back. I believe played most with Wonder. Only 3 series though, not too much. Unfortunately, plays 9th in league play for Team Fujiyoshi. So maybe looking to get better than 9th this season. But on to DSQ Esports, Venny.
Yeah, Venny, when he first started in the league, was a vastly improving player and had a lot of mechanics for his tier, but seemed to have slowed down recently. Season 15, he played 59 games. Season 16, he played 24, so his game time's got less and less as the seasons have gone on.
Roma for Death Cloud Esports here at pick 26 will be joining alongside with Kincaid. Has played the most with Aka, actually, with 22 series, and I'd seen this player a little bit in tryouts. Loves to try and make pass and play, so with a good player in your team, it should work out very well. But on to Aspire with the Deadly Dom.
Yeah, Dom's a really nice lad. Not great on comms, but he's a very quiet lad, but he makes up for that in his gameplay. He's statistically always been one of the best players in the lower tiers, but maybe not made that step up to Challenger in the past. I've FA'd and joined his teams in a couple of seasons now when things haven't gone right. So, but next up we have pick 28 and Stormy.
Stormy for Team Serena, I believe it was, has got a bit of history. Played the most with Corentia with 15 series, tied with Neuronix, but already on the Team Berserkers. Take away with Sammy.
Yeah, no shock here. Sammy has played for Team Berserkers in every single season he's played in RSC or ERS. It's the 4th time now. This will be the 5th. And last season he finished 17th in his final results, 9th in league play.
Samal with a name around with a bit of history for Team Dexterity here at pick number 30. First started back in season 11, most recently with Aspire. Looking to go on forward with this season, but already on to El Druvo for Illusory.
Yeah, El Druvo was someone who was very undervalued when he first started in RSC. I think he was played in season 9 for Galamo. I think he was one of the best players in the tier as well. Maybe was top 5 players, maybe one player of the season. I'm not too sure. But he's played sporadically since. Played for Team Berserkers last season with 30 games.
Plasma at 1475, a new player to the league. Very low value, and I would, well, not high value, low value. My bad. Sorry, I'm just all over the place. Plasma, a new player to the league. Have seen him about in trials. Definitely looks like a potential player, especially for his value. But on to Azteca with Regio.
Yeah, Regio started in season 14 for Alpha Surge, played 67 games, and then moved on to 20R last season with 32 games. He finished 4th in league play and 9th in final results in Team Thunder.
Fury here from Mistaken Esports at pick 34. Joined in season 16 for Fork. Only 20 games on paper. Was going to be my potential teammate before the new Chally got improved in the previous season. So we'll look to see how he does for me in Prospect. But on to Shadow at pick 35.
Yeah, and they pick Ninji-san. His first season was with Team Berserkers. 85 games last season for Drengier. He finished 1st in league play, so his debut season was top of league play, and he finished 3rd in the final results, just not managing to win it.
Well, I hope you're not outside watching the stream in the rain. Just in case, we have a towel for you at 1485 for Chrome Esports. Joined again, yet again, season 16 for Shadow Esports. 26 games on paper. Played the most with Wanzi. I believe they did make play-ins or playoffs, I remember briefly, but already on to Team MPB at 37.
Yeah, they pick Nico, who played for Dexterity last season with 24 games, finished 7th for Qantas, but he was 2nd in league play, just didn't manage to have a great playoffs.
Nexus Esports with a Potter. If I don't see him with the cockroach on top of his car this season, he's got to hang it up. It's been his ritual. Has played many seasons here in RC, find himself in Prospect, played the most with Small Panda. I've not seen him about in a long time, but already moving on to a keeper here, Jay Leno at 1520.
Yeah, Jay Leno, I remember when he first joined the league in season 12, played for Forge for 16 games. He has played in every single season since, most notably for Owls Esports last season as their stand-in GM or AGM.
The last pick of this round going for Brave Carlitos. I believe has been about for a while here and there, just coming back and forth. First joined with Internet Explorers in season 8, and most recent season would have been ERS season 1 for Symbiotes, getting majority of the games on paper. Played the most with Angelo, a name we've not seen in a while, but we always have seen as a decent player in Rivals. So maybe he could be well in Prospect if he was playing with him a lot. But here are your picks in the round 2 summary. Seeing some new names here and there, but obviously your potential great players who didn't go in the first round, but looking to make a statement here in this season.
Yeah, just looking at that last pick as well, obviously, because it's to the team that was drafted with myself. I did ask Kyle to get Carlitos as well, because I did play with him in ERS 1 for Symbiotes. Me, Minty, Angelo, and Carlos. So if he can bring that level back to Prospect, hopefully we can get some chemistry. But again, it's a risk, much like Antsu in round 1, whether these players come back washed or not. So a lot of experience and a lot of risks in these first 2 rounds, but we will move on to round 3.
As we get there briefly, obviously Deadly Dom find himself in Prospects. Hopefully he does well. But On to round number 3. Obviously, as we saw, Carlitos there. But Ozon at pick 41, Brave with a back-to-back. This will be the third player for the franchise at 15-20. Should be a reputable name that you should remember. Has always played within around the lower tiers. Played the most with Wanzi, who we all know does farm the lower tiers. So maybe Ozon will be looking to do that this season with you.
Yeah, and moving on to Godalians, it's someone who does play six-mans a lot, and I've seen improve via that. He started in season 14 for Deathcloud Esports with 52 games, and he's played in season 16 for Team Berserkers and Owls.
Moving on to DSQ at pick 43. Definitely a name I've not seen around before. And that would be because there is no data. Must be the first season within the playing, but we'll be alongside with Venny and maybe Omar. So hopefully the veteran experience from the first 2 picks will make the player feel welcome. But moving on to Team MPB at Papa Sparta.
Yeah, Papa Sparta has come back in the last couple of months or so. He did play last season, I believe. Don't know whether he was academy or prospect. I'm not too sure. But moving on to pick 45 is JC Zenio.
Has played a little bit within the league. In season 16 was for Owls and Alpha Surge. Played the majority for Alpha Surge with 40 games. Definitely some talent within that player. Seen a bit from him, a Brazilian as well, looking to represent for the nationality. But going on to pick 46, Mercury for Shadow Esports.
Yeah, Mercury is a brand new player, and he is pick number 46. Not too much to offer other than 1555 CMB.
Pick 47, Detach at 1490. I know he's been grinding recently, maybe looking to make a statement here in prospect. I know he's tried to play in the past, unfortunately just couldn't quite get himself into the league that much, but hopefully he does well this season. But moving on to pick 48, the Azteca Esports.
Yeah, and we have Tino. I think this is the person who won Academy last season with Aspire. He is 1470. He did. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. We've got Tino C and Tino, and he's just changed his name to Tino as well. So I'm not sure which one of it they are.
We have Nick JCar 111 for Nexus Esports here at 1515 with no data. So it could be a cheeky little hidden gem here in round 3 for the prospect here. So maybe watch out for him or her all day, whoever the player may be. But for pick number 50 for Illusory, Nikira.
Yeah, Nakira is someone I played with in the OSL when Masters ran it. He's a really undervalued player, and I actually asked Kyle to try and get him as our main player if he could, and he's obviously gone before we've got the chance to. So Nakira is going up from Academy, so hopefully we'll see him perform here.
Pick 51 for Team Vortex is Rise. The only data I've got is all the way back in Season 6 for Ignite Esports. So a very OG player making a return. See how they perform in the new RSC in today's of days. And pick 52 from Team Berserkers. I'm glad I don't have to pronounce this one.
Yeah, I've been Danoha. I believe this is a brand new player. Oh, no, sorry. Played for Illusory last season with 20 games. Played with Vapids for 5 series.
Unfortunately, I had to play with Vapids. Feel sorry for you. On to pick 53. Razor, the keeper pick here for Deathcloud Esports, has played for Green Phoenix, Deathcloud, and Deathcloud yet again. And guess what? Deathcloud again. Pick 54, Veiled for Bro Community.
Yeah, Veiled has been an impressive player in the lower tiers since season 13. He did play for Shadow last season with 72 games, so a fresh challenge at Bro Community this season. Did win the league in season 14 as well.
Moving on to pick 55, Jack the Mac for Team Serena at 1480. Started his RSC career in season 7 and recently finished the season with Brave Esports with 52 games on paper, playing the most with Bob McTastic. What a name. On to Chrome Esports with their next pick.
Breeze's only history is playing ERS 2024 for Off User Esports with 55 games. He played with Char for 13 series and he's 1535 CMB.
On to pick 57. Apparently we have the King _NBL. What does the NBL stand for? I do not know. Not really much data except for playing one series with Mr. Love with a bunch of numbers. We'll see how that goes this season. Welcome to the league anyway. But Aspire Esports with pick 58.
Yeah, and we have 11 played for season 14, 15, and 16. The latter two was with 20R, and he finished 7th in league play and 13th in final results last season.
A name I definitely recognise here, 14 dexterity at 1500, tilted waffle, played for Arctic Frenzy back in season 9, and the most recent would be last season with for Nate Esports, and again 30 games on paper, but played the most with VWX Toby. Definitely a player that some people would know from Challenger. But moving on to pick 60.
Yeah, and the final pick of round 3 is Rosie in Bloom. It's going to be very short and swift because it's a new player, but they are at a CMV of 1455.
Nice value to be at, especially for round 3. You're being drafted that low in the round. There's definitely potential there, maybe main roster worthy for that value. So have to see how they perform on the pitch. But looking at these picks, definitely some good picks here. Some people who, we're willing to see how they shine within this season. It's always nice to see new names appear, especially early on. They've either got something in them, or maybe, who knows, might just be a little hidden gem.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of franchises go for the mid pick here, probably the third player on the team. And I think the next round that's going to come up is going to be people trying to snag that undervalued min pick to round off their top 4 picks.
Well, we talk about moving on to the final 4 pick. Here we are at 61. The Gaz at 14.90. You would have seen a bit of him on RSC streams, and maybe you'll see a bit more of him on the pitch this season. Last season, played for forward with 35 games on paper. Played the most with KMW with 10 series, almost reaching a 50% win rate with his whole RSC career. So maybe, hopefully, he can reach above that and go for playoffs.
Yeah, we move on to dexterity, and it is B-Shake. And there's so much history for this person. I think he's only won once, or yeah, I think he won with John W. in season 9.
I believe it's for Sanctuary, yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, he lost the final. I don't know whether he's won actually.
Either way, on to pick 63. Aspire with Mezzo. 1555. Getting another mid pick here as well. Hopefully, maybe going for that all-round drafted team there, but already moving on to 64, a name you should recognize here for Azteca.
Yeah, Scrupstar, and I'm going to be honest, the only reason I know this name so far, I haven't really seen his performances in the league, is because he's a Ruby donor. I just remember his name from that. He's played in season 14, 15, and 16. Most recently with Momentum with 24 games and Owls with 40.
Chrome Esports picking up Arian here, joined last season, played for Shadow Esports and KDJ, splitting the season both ways pretty much. Played the most with Sir Pegasus and Compact, but already moving on to Envy in pick 66.
Yeah, and I believe this is the Envy that used to be a freestyler back in the day. He was initially playing in season 6 and 7 and 9, and then returned in season 16 after a 7-season break with Team Serene. So I think his performances have took him from Academy to Prospect in ELO.
Pro Community drafting up a new player within the league with no data at pick 6-7. X Vital Mags X, or we've got the X at the beginning, X at the end. Just reminds me of old Xbox 360 or the gamer tags at 1490. Just for the lore of OG Xbox, I hope he does well.
Yeah, and next up it's Alexander for Death Cloud Esports at pick 68. I was just checking the chat then because everyone corrected me that Dale hasn't won a thing, so sorry about that.
So he just knows that he should have won by now. But coming at pick 69, Meklo for Team Berserkers. Pretty much only played for Green Phoenix and Team Berserkers with a splash of dexterity and Alpha Surge. Played the most with Sammy and Mersu. Looking to go forward with this season with a 61 win percent rate, by the way, in RSC in total.
Yeah, and next up is GM667. I was surprised I saw this name so low in Prospect initially. He only applied last night and he was 1500 CMV. Played for Fort Templar in season 15 and played ERS1. I believe I FA'd into his team for a couple of games in season 15 too.
At pick 71, I think it's the guy behind the screens controlling the stream. I'm not too sure. But either way, he's played the most with Potter and 385 MS, tied with Aiko as well. I mean, you had to play with Potter for 21 games, 21 series, actually. Mal, I feel for you about that. Don't worry. Condolences from me. But look forward to see how he does in this season at 15-15.
He also played with me in a rival play, and our team scored 0 goals in the whole series. So yeah, that's Mal. But we move on to Nate Esports at pick 72, and they pick Rubber Ducky. I believe this is an Irish player who is linked to Nate. He's played in season 16 for them and RL Ireland in season 15. So yeah, a very much linked player.
For the round 4 pick from Brave Esports, M8A7. Oh, I missed that gun on COD. Anyway, we're on about Rocket League. Very OG here in the league. Season 7 joined for Overture here. Played the most with Moro DK. 38 series. I know they've always been a good link-up duo in the lower tiers. Maybe looking to bring that with you this season. And already on to pick 74, we have Ivitsu.
Yeah, I believe this is a new player. He's from Bulgaria, and he's 1475 CMV. I processed its application, so I know it's a new player.
On to pick 75, we have...
Mate Haber, 28.
Mate Haber, 28. There we go. See, of course I said that. At 1445, there's the low value player in round number 4. Obviously, we got no data on the player, but I'm sure they have potential value as they have been picked up by Shadow Esports.
Yeah, and next up we have Clark, 17, I believe those Roman numerals are, and this is a new player. He hasn't played for any franchises, but he's played 20 games, so I believe they may be PFAs.
Just Brick. It's just a Brick at pick 77. A very solid name, a very solid name, as it says. Played the most with Bob McTastic for 9 series and has actually played back in ERS and not really played RSC since, apart from Death Cloud, season 15.
Yeah, next up, KMW, a former teammate of mine, not from RSC, but in OSL. He played season 15 and season 16. He played for Owls for 40 games and Shadow for 20. He finished 16th last season.
Oh, 16. Maybe we can do better. Round 4, pick 79. It's going to be Saucer at 1445. Only played 1 season in season 15 for Flawless with 71 games. And, well, he's obviously a great main player from the Swede himself, but he played the most with Chally, a very OG name. But the last pick of round 4 is a keeper pick for Unitox.
Yeah, and that keeper pick is Voodoo at 1490 CMV. His ELO and playoffs bonus did take him 10 higher than his initial peak. He's played since season 12, and it's nice to see because obviously he's from SSA, and he's very much involved in the management, and he makes a lot of suggestions in the server as well. So thank you for that to try and improve RSC. He did finish 2nd in league play and 5th in the final results for Ancole with Tusi last season, but that rounds up the top 4 rounds, and we were very much correct, but I think a lot of that majority of picks was picking the 4th player and the low values for the team.
Yeah, literally pretty much all of them, and it's pretty much going to happen in Academy as well. As we all know, the minimums go quickly in that tier, but more focusing on here, as you see, majority of players being around that 1400, Elo just scraping to the 1500 mark, but we still got some very talented players within this list as well. I mean, Rubber Ducky actually saw in Academy trials looked very, very solid. Looking forward to see how Rubber Ducky performs here in the prospect tier. Has been picked up by Nate Esports to see how that works out. Being round 4 definitely shows that there is potential there, or at least maybe they just want him on the franchise because the Irish link up. But no, very good names. I mean, M8A7, I look forward to seeing him play again. I know he kind of played a lot a few seasons ago, and I've not really seen him about recently, so I look forward to see how he does this season.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to be the min value player for our team, or 1455 above. So looking forward to that one. But we sign off, Buddha. I believe there's a new pairing after this. Just want to go over, obviously, because we weren't supposed to be here tonight, so it's been good to step in. We do have a £600 prize pool for the season. Master 250, Elite 150, Rival £80, Challenger £60, Prospect £40, and Academy £20. It's been great to see everyone joining the chat. We've had 350 viewers at one point. So thank you for your support. Obviously, it means a lot for us to get prize pools in this league. And if you can, just drop a sub so that you don't get those pesky ads, or you drop a boost or anything in the server. We are glad of your support. And Buddha, before we go, how's it been to be back?
It's been great. Also, it's been a long time since I've even been on the stream itself, on the mic. And the first time doing the draft was quite a lot of fun, especially alongside you. Just makes it a lot easier, you know, just see a familiar face that you miss. But yeah, no, it's been a great night. It's been great to see all these players get drafted. Obviously, if you've not seen your name tonight, don't remember, there is tomorrow. Everyone gets drafted, so you'll just be drafted tomorrow instead. So make sure you come back tomorrow and tune in to see where you get drafted, what round, and what franchise you'll go to.
Yeah, signed off perfectly. Thank you for that, and we'll see you soon with Academy.
I never know when to go. Don't even talk, but you sleep in my clothes. No, it ain't right. I've been stressing at night. We're together, but I feel alone. How long do I stand here in the fire? How long do I try before I'm on my own? How long do I walk across the wire? Stay till we fall. We don't know how to act. We get chaotic and say things we wanna take back. Is there a reason that we're still together? How long do we stand here in the fire? How long do we try before we're on our own? How long do we walk across the wire? Stay till we fall. Stay Raindrops fall over my heart. I black out the moon. I wait for you to come around. You got me dancing in the dark. I've closed my eyes, but I won't sleep tonight. Baby, you should come with me. I'll take you to the dark side. Me and you and me, do bad things in the nighttime. Baby, you should come with me, and we can kill the lights, hit the lights, let it black out, hit the lights, let it black out. Blackbird, black moon, black sky, black light, black everything, black heart, black keys, black diamonds, black out, black everything, black everything, all black, everything, all black, everything, all black, everything, black. In a nocturnal state of mind, children of the night, but it's the only way of life. It's black holes pulling me inside of this black heart, the black soul underneath this black sky. Baby, you should come with me.
I'm the storm that meets the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are back this time with perhaps the best tier of the night. A lot of people in chat might say that, but I'm Wild, and joining me is Hodge for the first time tonight. How are you doing, Hodge?
I'm doing absolutely brilliant. I can't lie. It's been a bit chaotic as my first season as an AGM to sit back and actually like do the draft. But now we get to talk about the draft here, Veiled, in Academy. Always the most exciting tier. Always the tier that delivers gold every single time. And I think this will be no different. I think we've got some absolute gems coming up, and definitely. So you want to get that Twitch clip button ready, because I think you'll definitely need it. But I know you've been here, for a couple of the tiers today. Do you want to, give us a quick overview of everything that we've seen?
Yeah, I'm glad I'm out of this tier, I'm not gonna lie. But despite that, I think it is gonna be a bit up in the air. I said that last season as well. This tier is probably gonna be the most chaotic it has ever been. There's a lot of players exiting the tier that have played there for a long time. There are a lot of new players that no one has ever heard of. So I think it's gonna be very interesting to see what kind of teams stand out once the season starts, and what works, what doesn't work. But yeah, that's probably my take on the tier for this season. But before we get into the picks, we have all of our prize pools on screen. It has been mentioned a lot of times today, but thank you to all who have given donations tonight, who might keep doing. I think I just saw Vips gift some subs in the chat. Very special thank you to you guys. You are the guys that make this league work, and we couldn't do this guy without you guys. So huge thank you for that. And that is also what is sponsoring the prize pools you see on the screen right now.
Yep, very true. The prize pool on the screen right now. You might look at that and think, that's a little bit of a reduced prize pool, but obviously that's because we have our new RSC season format here with 2026, 3 seasons across the year, so spreading that prize pool out a little bit more. But don't worry, if you're still Academy, like we're about to go over the Academy draft, then you will still get your meal deal at the end of the season if you do win. So a lot to go over here, Veiled. I think it's best that we get started, and I know everyone's very hyped about this first pick, aren't they?
Yep. I saw it beforehand. Oh, we're getting it right here, guys. Yep, it's Heat Kid, pick number 1. I don't think we ever saw this coming, but it has happened. and it is for the franchise that everyone has been hyping up all day in chat. They've been doing some great drafting, perhaps the best drafting I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Yep, SCR Esports picking up True Kid, but now we move over to pick number 2, and well, for somebody who has a setup that rivals Harry Potter's cupboard under the stairs, it is Zombie, and he is going back to Unitox to play alongside, a stacked roster, and we'll get into that later on. For now, though, moving on, it's Mistaken Esports with pick 3, and unsurprisingly, they've snatched up JPEG.
Yeah, JPEG played really well last season. Fortunately, his team wasn't able to make it that far in the playoffs, but nonetheless, he showed why he is still on top in this tier, and I'm sure that he's going to be showing that once again this season. Moving on, we have Godalians and their first pick in the Academy tier, and it will be Jazz. Someone, even though I'm not in the tier anymore and don't participate in the tryouts, I've heard a lot of good things about him. I'm sure he will be a great player in this tier.
Yep, certainly. And now moving on to Chrome Esports with their pick. It is going to be Vibs for 1420. I know, Vibs has been a player that's valued highly by a lot of people, and Chrome going to be taking full advantage of that here, picking him up as pick number 5 and their first pick here in Academy. Moving on, though, we do in fact have Team Serene, and Team Serene, they've gone for Dave the Rave.
Yep, he actually participated in some of my some prospect tryouts I was in, and he didn't really stand out as a bad player or anything. So I'm sure that he will also be doing well in Academy, which he has been in for a couple of seasons now, I believe, and he's improved a lot over those seasons. I'm sure that he can make things work together and get a great season ahead of him this time. And next up, it is Bro picking up Endrick for pick number 7, someone who didn't really have that great of a season last season.
Yeah, didn't have, the best season on that DSQ team. Didn't have the greatest ending in playoffs, but looking to turn it around here on Bro. Somebody who had a pretty all right season, would have liked better, was Tanny on Team Serene last season. Now going to be a first pick for Death Cloud here for 1375. And, somebody's got to take up the 2-2 draw rain mantle. So I'm sure it's safe in the hands of Tanny. Moving on, though, Team Berserkers, it's Jim Jams. And, Vale, Jim Jams was, the player that everyone was looking at last season. Didn't, have the greatest season, obviously. Ended in about week 2 at Owls. But he's back, and he's looking for revenge.
I think saying he had a bad season doesn't do it justice. I think he had a great season. He played well in the games he played, but fortunately it ended very shortly. But next up, pick number 10, it will be Mimi. Someone who I'm not too surprised seeing in round 1. He might have been a bit of a troll pick if this was last season, but he's actually improved a lot and he's playing some great frees. So I'm sure that we will see some great plays for him on that franchise. Next up, though, it's going to be Beefy for Illusory.
Yeah, someone else who's been playing some great Rocket League recently as well, and Biffy, a bit of an increase in CMV, like a lot of people here for this season. That's because he's improved a lot. That is going to be going first round here for Illusory. But Nathan, as my VMix is lagging there, it's finally loaded up, is going over to Nate here for their first pick in Academy. Another player who I'm not surprised at, Academy champion last season.
Yep, and then we have Amjad Shabib. I think he was called Muffin sometime too. I played with him way back when I first joined. 1440 CMV. I'm sure he can make that work. I played against him in the final when I won. I'm sure he can make it run again.
Yep, you've got to back it. But Mistaken, they've done a little bit of trading and have managed to get themselves a second round 1 pick, and that pick is going over to Ethan 2K. One of the players who, back at the start of the season, at the start of the whole sign-ups and everything, I was saying is going to be one of the most underrated players, and he's been picked up to a very good team there. Now moving on, though, is XTZ9 to Shadow Esports, and I believe a new player this season.
Yeah, I haven't really heard a lot about him, but I'm sure there's a reason behind it. I don't know if you have seen him in your charts. Maybe you can say a bit about him.
I've not seen him in my tryouts, but I've heard some good things from other AGMs and GMs. But somebody who everyone's seen a lot of over the years is Hansen, and he's going to be going over to Unitox for their keeper pick. Running back 2/3 of the roster from last season, which got them to second place, got them to a grand final, and I'm sure Unitox are going to be looking for the win this time.
Yeah, next up is your franchise drafting a Woof. Is he down in the Academy now? I did not expect that, but it might be a good pick. It might not. I don't know. I played with him recently and he was still playing fine. I don't know how he will do in Academy since he's used to a bit higher lobbies, but I'm sure that's a decent pick.
Well, moving on to DSQ, it's their keeper pick and it's customs. The foundation for a very solid team, I think, here is customs, and a great keeper pick to have if you're a franchise like DSQ.
Yeah, next up, Dexterity, pick number 19, and it will be Big Chaps as a keeper pick. And yeah, he's also going to stay in Academy this season. I think he was last season as well. He's also always played pretty well, has a certain style of playing when he plays in these tiers, so got to be a great addition to that team.
Yeah, well, another keeper pick just to add it to the list is Fatty Kyle for Brave Esports, and another great foundational player here. Having that high player as a keeper pick to build your low players around when everybody's going to be sort of prioritizing some of those higher players. Always good to have, and we're going to get a little bit of a round one summary here, Vale, just to see who's been picked. And you know what? If you said to me, Yeetry Kid is going to be #1 pick in Academy, I would have laughed in your face. So yeah, Yeetry Kid, #1 pick before GTA 6, and the rest of the draft pretty good as well. Any other standouts to you?
Looking through it, not really. I think everyone here made a case last season or in previous seasons why they deserve to be on the round one picks. Maybe Jazz because he's new, but from what I've heard, he definitely made a case for why he should be picked this early. But other than that, not really any standouts now.
Well, I think that went just about how it was expected by a lot of people. Let's move on to round number 2 and see what's next on the docket for some of these teams who've maybe just picked and already jumping back into Brave's pick. It is going to be Buckets for 1370. Buckets not having the season he would have wanted to on Sanctuary last season, going to be looking to turn that around here with Brave.
Yep, and next up we will have Dexterity coming up with their pick number 2 to add to Big Chaps, and it will be Axiom, who she has played for a while. I don't know if she played last season, but in the season she did play one season with Aussie and Tremaldinho, where they were able to get to the upper finals, but they unfortunately were knocked down by DSQ. So excited to see what she can do on that team. Next up though is DSQ. We'll be picking up Charlie.
Yeah, picking up Charlie, a player that I have teamed with in the very first edition of OSL, the one that Masters ran. And I have to say, love Charlie as a player. I think he'll do great over on DSQ, especially with a teammate such as in Customs, who is a very consistent player. But now over to who I've picked up here in round number 2 for MPB. It's going to be Hell.
Yeah, my previous sub for my title-winning season, I believe. Yeah, played pretty well last season. Honestly, not gonna lie. Very demo heavy, but played some great Rocket League. Next up though is Nexus, picking up Yet Chris.
Yep, he had Chris going over to Nexus Esports. I don't recognize the name. I'm not sure if you do, but I do also know that Nexus loves to. They love picking players who've just joined the league. So apologies if it's a known player who like everybody knows and we just don't. But yeah, moving on to Shadow Esports is going to be Very Red. Was the savior of my team last season, sending us to playoffs, and is going to hopefully look to save Shadow and give them a good run this season. But now Mistaken Esports picking up Ahmed. Not a surprise. That Ethan Ahmed duo is a very I guess storied one, and yeah, it might have got them 7th place before, but alongside JPEG, they're going to be shooting for the stars this time.
Yep, and now the moment we've all been waiting for, who's going to be teaming with Yeetry Kid, and it will be Smokey Bear, who I have seen in chat. I'm excited to see his reaction to that. But yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great player as well, and he fits well in that CMV. And it looks like he's very happy to be joining that team.
Who wouldn't be? Moving over to Nexus' next pick, it is going to be Rake Boy for 1365. Had the chance to team with him for a little bit of last season, and I have to say, very solid player and definitely worth the value there. Moving on, Illusory. Let's see who they've picked up here. It's going to be Deadeye for 1375.
Yep, I have not heard about him before, but he's going to be playing with Beefy, so I'm sure he's going to have to get ready to play with that playstyle. It's going to be interesting to see how that team works out. Next up, though, we do have Team Vortic with pick number 31, and it will be Maurice 1610, someone I've heard about a good while back. I'm surprised to see he's still 1200 though.
Yeah, I think Maurice is, regarded as one of the greatest of the subs in Academy, and I'm not surprised to see him go in round 2 here. But who else is going in round 2? It is Belinda here, 14 Berserkers, 41240, an absolute steal for that CMV value. I know a lot of teams were sort of eyeing him up, but it is Team Berserkers who get the pick. Moving over to Death Cloud for their next pick, it is Kinsey. I'm sorry. I knew I was gonna butcher a name at some point, but yeah, we got like 15 minutes in.
Yeah, Kinsey, I think I've heard about him a couple seasons back. He played really well. Was surprised to see him not picked up last season, I believe. He didn't play for a team. But next up, though, we do have Pixel Glitch at 1305, joining Indrik on Bro Esports.
Yeah, Pixel Glitch was the third on Unitox last season, got all the way to the grand finals, but he's peaked since then, and he's joining Bro for RSC17, a player who was, I remember, hyped up quite a lot last season in Rye, is going to be going on over to Team Serene this season to now join alongside Dave the Rave in what is looking like a pretty good Team Serene team so far. Moving on, though, Veiled, to Nate Esports, it is Gav Gav.
Yep, someone who actually hasn't played since my first RC season, and he was very good back then. And I'm very excited to see if he can bring that level of playing back to this season. Of course, being picked in round 2 is a great deal. Next up, though, it's going to be Remco being picked up, someone who's pretty new in the RC season. He joined during last season, I believe. Do you want to have anything about him? I don't know too much.
No, it was more the fact my vmix is lagging and I can't tell if I'm like my face isn't matching up with my voice. So I was trying to figure out if you were still talking or not. But yeah, moving on, it's my teammate from last season, BMD, and this is going to be Aspire's first pick in the draft. They did a little bit of trading, a little bit of prioing in different tiers, and their first pick in Academy is pick 38. Moving on over to Godalians as my vmix recovers, it is going to be Masters for 1440 to go alongside Jazz. And there was, I've been told there was a plan in place with this draft here, Veiled, and the plan seems to be working out pretty well.
Yep. Depending on what the plan is, sure, you could say that. And for Amjad Shabib's teammate, it will be GT Thunder, someone who has also moved up quite a bit during the last couple of seasons in this tier. I'm sure he is going to be delighted to be teaming with Amjad Shabib, who already has a bit of a decorated history within the tier. So to summarize our round 2, we had Buckets as the number 21 pick, then Axiom, then Charlie, then Hell, then Yadkris, then Very Red, then Ahmed, then Smokey Bear, then Rakeboy, then Deadeye, then Maurice, then Belinda, then Kinsey, then Pixel Glitch, then Rye, then Gav Gav, then Remco, and then BMD. And then to finish it off, we had Masters and GT Thunder.
Yep, it was an incredible round 2. I think a lot of picks that people expected. Good to see some new players getting picked up here in round 2 as well. Who maybe are a little bit newer to the RSC community, getting picked up, getting themselves some teams, and sowing the foundations of their RSC17 season. We've got to move on though. We've got a lot to get through, and it is getting late. And I'm sure Mal is crying in the background in production right now, but maybe not so much because he got a team this season. But guess who else has got a team this season? It's the Dirty Dwarf for 1200 to go alongside Smokey Bear and Yeet Tree Kid. This is becoming a draft of all time, I have to say.
Yep. I mean, Dirty Dwarf is a significantly good 1200. I'm not surprised to see him picked, but it's going to be an interesting team to follow. One for the ages for sure. Excited to see if they can make playoffs this season. Next up, though, is King Axter joining Dexterity with Axiom and Big Chaps.
Yeah, King Axter joining Dexterity, one of the lower players who everybody, always hypes up with a season, and unsurprised to see him go over in round 3 to a team. But Righty is going to be the next pick for Aspire, pick number 43 for 14-15 to go alongside BMD here as the second pick for Aspire there. Working out there for Aspire. They're leaving it late, but they're still finding some good value picks here. Moving on though to Unitox, it is going to be Ottercop for 12.35, and I'm not really surprised with this one either.
No, he has moved up a little bit in his CMV range. And yeah, I might have given him a little bit of slack last season, but he actually backed it up. He played really well, and I'm excited to see him be on a team that early on. And next up, though, is Rorugi joining Vibs on Chrome Esports, who only just now have gotten their second pick in, but the team is not looking too bad.
Certainly isn't. And Team Serene, they've gone for Viscrid, who, had a pretty decent season, I believe, or on Shadow, I believe he was last season. If am I correct by that?
Wait, who was, sorry? Viscrid?
Viscrid.
Yeah, he was, indeed.
Right, I was going to say, I remember you were AGMing, I think, that season. So I thought the question would be good to ask you, but hopefully a good season for him and Damo for 1350 going over to Bro Community. And alongside Pixel Glitch and Hendrik, that is becoming a pretty scary team.
Yeah, fun fact, it wasn't just Viscrid on my team last season on that team, it was also Rai. But moving on, Torga at 1305 being picked up by Death Cloud here. He's going to play along Kinsey and Tanny. But I do find it kind of interesting that Team Serene is kind of sniping my old picks.
Team Serene, have you been in contact with them? Have you been on the dial to Vice or something during the draft picks earlier on? But moving on, it is Shadow NMD 1400 here for Berserkers. I'm not familiar with the name. I'm not sure if you are, but going to be going alongside Jim Jams and Blinde.
Yeah, not quite sure who he is, but moving on though, DSQ with their third round pick, it is going to be Leonard, someone who's been in the community for quite a while, been down at 1200, moved up to 1260 now. Actually played a tournament with him last season, and he is a decent player. I'm sure he's going to be delighted to line up with Customs and Chelly on that franchise there. Next up though is Simsy, a keeper pick at 1375 for Illusory.
Yeah, a keeper pick coming through. Always good to have that stability and that guaranteed CMB value to sort of build around. And going to be joining alongside Deadeye and Biffy. Moving on to Nate for their their third pick 52 in round 3. It is Canhabil for 1275, and I believe he was on Berserkers last season. He started out as an FA. I know he played one of the games for me, my team, while I was away on holiday, and there was some good feedback and some good feedback from Berserkers as well. Great pickup there. Danke Avocado going over to Azteca for 1200. A great pickup for Azteca, and Danke, widely regarded as one of the better subs in the academy tier.
Yep, next up, Mistaken Esports. They're going to be picking up Harry Lord. One can, speculate. I think he's going to be a sub alongside JPEG, Ethan, and Ahmed. Looks like a pretty stacked roster there, if I do say so myself. Next up is going to be Azteca with yet another pick in this round 3. And this time, it will be Styx at 1285, someone who was very, very well regarded for his value last season.
Yeah, definitely it was. He's gone up a bit since then, but Styx, if I believe and remember correctly, joining Alpha Surge later on in the season and having a pretty decent performance there. Going to be good joining over to Azteca this time though. Nexus with the next pick is going to be going over to It's 4C1D for 1220. Not familiar with the name, but then again, that is the Nexus strategy. Team MPB, it's going to be AO, it's Tau. I'm not sure if you've seen him around at all, but a very popular player in six mans, and came with good recommendations from my GM and AGM.
Where's your low pick, Hodge? I feel like you are kind of missing a link in your team currently, but moving on, it is going to be Bud Rekislaw being picked up by Team Vortic. Well, if you're waiting for that till tomorrow, that might be a bit late, but Bud Rekislaw joining Mimi and Maurice on Team Vortic to round out that main roster. Next up, though, is Godalion, who's going to pair up with Masters and Jazz. It is going to be Crazy Minions 775.
It is Crazy Minion, a player who played for Momentum last season, and Flosi has not stopped banging on about how he thinks he's one of the best subs in the tier. Godalion's a great pickup over there. But moving on to Brave, it is going to be, well, it's in his name, I guess, Brave SW, BRV SW for 1200. Seems destined to join the team, and alongside Buckets and Fatty Kyle.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be a great one. That summarizes our round 3 of Academy right here. We're gonna go to a summary here, I believe. If vMix is
No, we're going to go to a
nope.
break. Okay.
Oh, we're
Yeah,
back.
thanks,
We're
Mel.
back.
Let's go.
And we get
W
the
Mel.
summary. Let's go. W Mel in chat. W Mel in chat for
W
good
Mel.
production here. And to summarize this round, it is Dirty Dwarf followed by King Exter, then Righty, then Odecarp, then Roy Rugi, then Viscrit, then Damo, then Torga, then Shadow NMD, then Lanners, then Simsi, then Chan Habil, then Donkey Avocado, then Harry Lord, then Styx, then it's for Sid, then AO it's Tau, then Bud Regislaw, then Crazy Minion, and then Brave SW.
Yeah, a pretty solid round 3 across the board. Some pretty solid picks, and I think a lot of players going to be very happy with where they're going to there. Moving on to round 4, we're going to close out the Academy tier for today before moving on to tomorrow to obviously have the rest of the picks. It's going to be Pulse Lux going over to Brave. I believe he was on Brave for a portion of last season in preseason, and going to be hopping back over towards Brave to hopefully stay on there for a little bit longer this time and see what he can do in RSC17.
Yep, joining Buckets and Fatty Kyle on that team. That looks pretty stacked. But then Godalian's picking up Rio to join Masters and Jazz, presumably on the main roster, depending on how tomorrow's draft goes. But following that, we will have DSQ with pick number 63, and they are going to be picking up Xtalicon at 12:15.
Yeah, I think DSQ have got quite a solid draft here alongside Customs, Charlie, and Lana's there. It's looking like it's shaping up pretty well for them, and must be nice for some. But moving on to Shadow, we've got Vikingstad for 1200. Played very well in a lot of the tryouts, and he came to my tryout, and I think I thought he was, improved a lot since last season. And Shadow going to be picking him up to go alongside the likes of Very Red and the other person's name who I've completely forgotten because it was a bunch of letters.
I don't know if to pronounce this Nordically or I'm just gonna say Cairo. I don't know. 1275
No one knows.
joining that Nexus team. And I believe they have another pick yet again, and it's going to be Yannick from MG at 12:45. And now the previous picks are cooked once again. WML in the chat, guys.
WML in the chat. Absolutely love it. But we've got a lot to get through, and we'll keep on moving forward. What have SCR gone for with their absolutely incredible draft that has been cooking across today's Academy draft? It is Dazzler 82 for 1355. I'm not familiar with Dazzler. Is this a new player, do you think, or?
I believe. I don't know. But next up is Crazy, being picked up by Azteca at 1360. I think he's probably going to be competing with GT Thunder for the spot on that roster. Next up, though, it's your franchise. You have the nice pick here. Pick number 69 in the round 4. Who are you going to go for here, Hodge?
Well, we've gone for me. What a surprise. Keep a pick for MPB. And yeah, 1310. The low player still somewhere, hopefully. But moving on for pick number 70 for Illusory, it is Pool Boy for 1200.
Yep, don't know much about him, but he's going to be joining Simsi, Deadeye, and Beefy on that roster. Already looking pretty stacked. I'm sure he's excited to play on that roster coming into next season. Next up, though, is Team Vortic with pick number 71, and they're going to be picking up Senji at 1400. Someone I haven't really heard about. Maybe you have?
I haven't. I was optimistic. But anyway, going to be drafting over to Team Vortic alongside that stacked list of players that you can see on the left-hand side of your screen. Mal has fixed the previous picks, and, well, Team Berserkers have fixed themselves up a 4th player for this team. Jim Jams, Blinde, Shadow NMD, and however you pronounce that.
Yep. Next up, DevCloud with pick number 73. They're going to be picking up Jasmine at 1400. I believe played for 20i a couple seasons back. Excited to see that player back in the league. But next up, though, is going to be Bro Esports with pick number 74. Yep, coming in now.
It's coming in at some point. And well, you know what? Chaos is coming. Chaos is coming. 1200 there going over to Bro, and a great pickup for them. You'd likely assume heading over to fight for that subs position there. Also, just want to say apologies to anyone if we don't know who you are. I mean, deal with it, get on with it. Zom for 1375 going over to Team Serene. Zom, someone who I played a bit of ranked with. It's his first proper season playing, and a great player for that value, a rare M&K player. But moving over to Chrome, 1350, it is Zero here going over to Chrome.
Yep, some people that are doing some great tryouts out here. He's going to be joining Raw, Rugi, and Vips on that team. I believe the other two are Irish. I don't know, Rugi. I think he is Irish. If that guy is also Irish, maybe that's the meta going on for that team. Next up, though, Unitox going to be picking up Crocodile 1240. Wasn't he also playing for Unitox last season?
No. Maybe he got
Okay, I might
drafted,
just be
but
completely
must have
wrong.
got cut in preseason. I don't know. Moving on to Aspire to see who they've picked up. It is going to be Loopy. Veiled, you had the chance to team with Loopy at the end of last season. A thought.
You want me to give me my thoughts? Okay. He's a bit special player, you know. He is really, really mechgy. Sometimes not the most rotationally gifted, but you know, depending on
We're
how he
supposed
plays
to
this
say
season,
nice
it could go
things.
really well. He is really good for his value. He's really mechgy, you know. And if he can play like he did at the end of last season, he could definitely do well things in this tier. Next up, though, it's going to be Claudius at 1215 being picked up by Dexterity.
Yep, and you talked so long about Loopy that you didn't even talk about him pretty much. But moving on, because Mal
It's your
keeps on
fault.
pressing next. It is Frats for Mistaken Esports 1205, and going alongside that already powerful roster for a sort of 1200 battle against Harry Lord.
Guys, can you believe this slander on my name here, saying that I'm the one taking up all the time? It's crazy. Freds, though, is going to be competing with Harry Lord for that sub spot on that roster, and that will conclude our round 4 and our picks for the night. But we have a summary here. Do you want to take us through the summary, Hutch?
Do you want me to read everyone's name out? Is that what you want me to do? Okay.
Do what you want. If you want to mention
So
the specific
Brave
players,
first
do it.
picking up Pulse Lux, then Ryu, then Ixtalion, then Vikingstad, then Cairo, then Yannick, then Dazzler, Crazy, whoever that Hodge guy is, Poolboy, Senji, however you say that, Cloudy, Frats, Jasmine, Chaos is coming, Zom, Zero, Crocodile, Loopy, Cloudy, and then Frats finally going over to Mistaken for that 80th pick to round out round 4 and to round out day 1 of the Academy draft. And not only that, to round out day 1 of every tier drafts. And let's bring back the prize pool up on your screens in case you forgot. Everybody in Academy, if you're just tuning in, you will fight for a brutal season of a 5-week league play, a preseason, a playoffs, and your reward if you win will be that meal deal. But for the rest of the tiers, have a look at what you might win there on your screen as well. Big prize pool for a shorter season here, Veiled. Love to see it, and obviously powered by all of our sponsors at the bottom there as well.
Yeah, you don't want to take us through them? Okay, well, I'll do it.
No, I was
thank
going
you
to in a second, but
okay, well, I'll just do it now. It's fine. Thank you to Badass Studios, who has been a help for a long time. SpartanWare, who is supplying our beautiful merch, and a lot of other franchises within the RSC merch. So big thank you to them. Then there's also Trophi.ai. I believe that's some coaching studio. And then also, if you want to buy something from the Epic Store or from the Rocket League Store, I believe it works there as well. Use code RSC-EU to pick up
I was wondering if Mel
something
had
from
the
the Epic
merch on.
Store. Yep.
Well,
And
if you
there
want
see
to buy
Mel.
something from the RSC store, not the Epic store, if you want to buy something from the RSC store and want to see what it looks like, want to see one of the best models that RSC has to offer, it is the illusory Malachi himself wearing some RSC merch there. Head over to the RSC website and go shopping. But yeah, it's been a great day. Mal, can you give us a thumbs up if you're happy with today, or a thumbs down if you're not so happy? Very big thumbs up. There we go. He's happy to be drafted this time. But yeah, it's been it's been a great day of action across all our tiers, and there's going to be a lot more where that came from, isn't there, Veiled?
Yeah, there is. Tomorrow we will be back with the remaining draft, and after that we will have, I believe, 2 weeks of preseason for everyone who has been drafted in the tier that will be given a chance to prove what they got on the field. No matter if you were picked round 1 or round 7 or round 8 or however late you might be picked, you will have at least one series of playtime to show what you can do on the pitch. So my voice just died a little bit there, but thank you everyone for tuning in today. We have had a lot of viewers tuning in to see the draft here today, and a big thank you to everyone who tuned in. And I hope everyone gets a great season ahead of them in RSC 17, 17, 18, 17, I believe.
17. Oh, he's
17.
forgotten
So,
already. It's bad. It's in the stream title and everything. Come on. But
I don't
yeah,
have the stream open. I'm looking at the vmix. Come on, man.
Oh my goodness. But anyway, I should probably be looking at the vmix. I'm just not. But like, yeah, it's been a great day of action and another one coming up. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, more players, more action. So I hope everyone has a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 2 of the RSC17 draft. Good night.